All right, all right, all right. Welcome, everybody. I hope you're well. Thank you all for being here on this Tuesday night. What is it, June 23rd, I believe? Excited to have you here for the Multifamily Master Plan. See folks are coming on in. Please confirm in chat that you can see me and hear me all right. Please confirm in chat that you can see me and hear me all right. And then we are going to get started. If you haven't already done so, please go get a pen and paper. You're going to want to take notes tonight. I'm going to give you the game. All right. And so go get a pen and paper real quick. As soon as you get back, we are going to start. Just a moment here. I'm going to share my screen with you all, and I need confirmation that you can see it. All right. Good, good, good. All right, good, good. So I'm going to share my screen. Please confirm that you can see my screen in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Can you all see my screen? You see it? Good. All right, great. So go ahead and answer the question that is there. What market are you looking to buy multifamily real estate in? Go ahead and answer that question. Let me know where you're from. Bobby in Brooklyn. All right, I own in Brooklyn. I have a 3-family on Fulton and Utica. Rochester, New York, Georgia, New Orleans. I'm in New Orleans right now. Dallas, Virginia, DMV, Houston. New Orleans. All right, New Orleans in the building. Houston again, Baton Rouge. I just came from Baton Rouge today. A whole bunch of Baton Rouge folks. DMV, more Houston, South Carolina, Orlando, Florida, Beaumont, San Diego, Durham, North Carolina, DMV, Los Angeles, Cali, Seattle. Okay, so we got Cleveland, Ohio. We got people from all around. Tim, Virginia. I didn't even know that was a city. Just straight Tim. All right, cool. Good, good. So excited to have you all here. Thank you for being here tonight. What I want you to do real quick is I want you to go to this URL. It is juliangordon.com/webinar-worksheet. Now, there are hundreds of you here tonight, and so some of you may hit that website and it may get a busy signal. There's everybody trying to call in at once to this particular IP address. If you get that busy signal, do not fret, okay? Just keep trying over and over and over again as we go throughout the webinar. I put a backup link there in case the first one doesn't work. So go ahead and grab that worksheet really quickly. If you have a printer, print it out or just open it up behind the screen and have it there with you. It'll help you tonight as we go along, as we hit on some of the key points that are in this webinar that I want you to remember. So again, that's juliangordon.com/webinar-worksheet. And I put a backup link there as well. I'll put the backup link again. So just try that, okay? And if you're not getting it right away, then just keep trying as we go forward, unless fewer and fewer people are going to that website at the same time. Literally, there's hundreds of you here tonight, and if you're getting a busy signal, then that's just why. Did anybody get the worksheet? Please let me know in chat if it came up for you. All right, good. Thank you, Joseph, Bridget, Raw, Jamaica. My dad's from Jamaica. Shirley, Chris. Okay, folks got it. Kareen didn't get it yet. All right, so keep trying, all right? So let's keep it pushing. I got a lot to share with you in a short amount of time. And so I want to welcome you all to the Multifamily Master Plan webinar, which is where I'm going to show you how to finance, find, and finalize your first multifamily real estate deal and literally start living for free. I know that sounds like a high call, but I'm going to prove that to you on tonight's webinar. My name is Julian Gordon, and I'm creator of the multifamily movement. And I'm excited to be here with you tonight to share with you the game that I've gotten after being in real estate for quite some time. Tonight, we have a little special edition. It's actually the coronavirus edition. Obviously, the coronavirus has changed the entire world economy. And I want to share with you how that's actually impacting real estate. And the way that it's impacting real estate is actually counterintuitive. And I'm going to show you exactly the impact of coronavirus on real estate and how that's going to affect you as you seek to acquire your first multifamily property. All right. Now, who am I and why me? Many of you don't have a clue who I am yet. And so I just want to do a quick introduction. But first and foremost, I want to celebrate you for showing up here, because many of you didn't show up for me. You showed up for this information, for this dream that you have. And I want to commend you, because there are a lot of people who are on quarantine or who have slowed down their life. They're Netflixing and chilling tonight. And here you are learning about how to change the financial trajectory of your future. And so I just want to celebrate you all for being here. If I could give you all a round of applause, then I would, or I will. I celebrate you all for being here. You are exchanging your most valuable thing that you have, which is time. Time is more valuable than money. And so I honor that, and I'm going to do my best to make this time worth it for you. Okay. So my purpose is to free 300 people like Harriet Tubman to pursue their purpose through entrepreneurship and multifamily real estate. All right. Obviously, Harriet Tubman was the #1 conductor on the Underground Railroad. And over the course of about a decade, she made 19 trips below the Mason-Dixon line and freed about 300 people. For me, real estate is the above ground railroad. The above ground railroad. Literally, it is property that is above ground, and it's right there in plain sight. It's been there for a long, long time, but because your eyes have not been trained, you aren't able to see the opportunity that it has for you to get free. And tonight, I'm actually going to reveal that to you. In terms of my professional background, I built a $3.9 million real estate portfolio with 10 multifamily homes with 30 doors that generate about $36,000 per month in rents. And I did all that in just 6 years on the side, okay? This was not my original business, but as my real estate portfolio kept expanding, more and more people kept asking me, Julian, what are you doing? And that's why we are here tonight, to share with you what I've been doing in order to execute on that. My real estate portfolio returns about a 13.83% cash on cash return. The S&P 500, which is a key indicator in the stock market, over the past 20 years since the year 2000 has returned 4.23%. So for those of you who have money in your 401k or whatnot, the average return on the S&P 500 year to year was 4.23%. I actually ran those calculations myself. This is what I call math for millionaires, and you have to know how to analyze these things. Okay. Then my properties have appreciated by 19%, meaning that on all the value of my properties, that has improved by 19% over the past 6 years without me really doing much to them. And then I'm the founder of the Freedom School and the multifamily movement, and I am not a licensed real estate agent. Okay. I'm going to repeat that. I am not a licensed real estate agent, and you do not have to be one either in order to be a real estate investor. There's some sort of myth out there that you need a real estate license to be a real estate investor, and it's not true at all. And I'm living proof of that right here. Okay. Now, I'm going to be very transparent tonight and keep it real with you. And so I'm actually going to show you my portfolio. I'm not just going to say that I own 10 homes, right? Oh, I own this many doors. I'm actually going to show you the doors and the homes. This is my real estate portfolio to date. These are the 10 properties that I have control over. And I've never made a mortgage payment in my life. Why? Because I bought multifamily real estate. And the moment I bought multifamily real estate, I didn't make the mortgage payment. The rents from the tenants that were in the building made the mortgage payments. So my first property was in Brooklyn in 2013. I moved into this unit here. Then I had tenants that were in these 2 units. They paid the mortgage, principal, interest, taxes, insurance, CapEx, repair reserve, and vacancy rate. And I had additional cash flow left over after paying that expense to the bank and to the insurance companies, et cetera. So for me, with all of these properties, I have never personally made a mortgage payment, okay? Yet my portfolio continues to expand. Okay. So after acquiring that property and achieving what I call rent and mortgage freedom, meaning that I've no longer had a housing expense for the rest of my life as a result of this particular purchase, I decided that I wanted more, and I bought this property here in New Orleans in 2017. So there's a 4-year gap between my first property and my second property, because I was trying to buy another property in New York, but New York is a very expensive market. The first property was only, I used the FHA loan, which I'm going to talk about in just a second. Your second property would actually be 25% down. Your second investment property would be 25% down. In New York, the price of a home there is $1 million. And so that would be $250,000 just for the down payment. So I realized that if I wanted to be a real estate investor, that I would have to leave that expensive market. And so I actually invested in New Orleans and in Oakland while living in New York. Okay. So for those of you who live in expensive markets, my first, second, and third properties I bought from a distance. Okay. In fact, my Oakland property, I've never set foot inside of it. I've been outside of the home, but I've never been inside of the home. Okay. So this is the power of real estate. And many of you own Apple stock. You've never been to Cupertino. You own Nike stock. You've never been to Portland. You own Amazon stock. You've never been to their offices in Seattle. Okay. So your money does not have to work in the same city as you. Okay. I'm going to repeat that. Your money does not have to work in the same city as you do, for those of you who live in expensive markets. All right. So I have sold a couple of my properties. I sold this property here in New Orleans. I bought it for $125. Within a year and a half, it appreciated to $170. I sold it for $170. So that's $45,000 in appreciation. This is what happens when you buy right, when you're able to see the trends of gentrification and things of that nature and take advantage of them. And then as you can see, in 2019, I acquired 7 properties with 25 doors in one single year. I acquired 7 properties with 25 doors in 2019, last year alone. Okay. So for me, what happened was my identity changed. I didn't just perceive myself as a home buyer. I saw myself as a real estate investor. I believe that I am are the 2 most powerful words in the English language. This is what God calls itself. And whatever you put after I am becomes your experience and your reality. So I said, I am a real estate investor. And when your identity changes, your being changes. When your being changes, your doing changes. When your doing changes, your having changes. And so my identity changed, and you can see what unfolded as a result of changing my identity. So tonight, I do not just want you to just have a property. This is not about you just getting one property. This is about you building a portfolio. So in chat, please type portfolio. If you want a portfolio and not just one property, then type portfolio in the chat. Okay? We have to look beyond the American dream of getting a house. A house. No, there's a way for you to have many properties, not just one. All right. So I need you to think past that now. All right. So I have not just been able to do this for me in terms of my portfolio, 10 properties, 30 doors, $3.9 million in value. I've been able to teach other people how to do this as well. This is the Roll family. They own a fourplex in Los Angeles near University of Southern California. The Campbell family, they own a duplex in Charlotte, North Carolina. Jackie Hall Cooper, she recently acquired 4 doors in Philadelphia, a triplex and a single family from a distressed seller. Amina West, she owns a property in Brooklyn, but I realized that she could not buy another one in that market, and I helped her find a fourplex here in New Orleans. Dante Green owns a duplex here in New Orleans. He's from here and is able to own not only his single family here, but also a duplex. And then Spencer Smalls lives in Texas, but bought a multifamily in Cleveland, Ohio, where he's originally from. So I've been able to teach this process to other people, and I'm excited to teach it to you tonight. And so tonight, I'm going to show you the multifamily math, how to quickly and quantitatively evaluate a real estate deal in less than 10 minutes so that you can make an offer before anyone else. The only thing that beats a cash offer is a fast offer. I'm going to repeat that. The only thing that beats a cash offer is a fast offer. Okay. Then the multifamily map, how to find great emerging markets, neighborhoods, and properties near you or from a distance that will provide great cash flow and potential appreciation. And then finally, the most important one is the multifamily mindset, how to think like a real estate investor when it comes to wealth, money, real estate, and debt. See, a lot of the things that you've probably been seeing online, podcasts, YouTube channels, blog posts, and things of that nature, books, a lot of the tactical parts of real estate, you can find them online scattered all over the internet, right? But the biggest challenge that people have is the mindset, okay? How they think about wealth, how they think about money, how they think about debt. This is where the blockages are for people. The step-by-step guides are out there on YouTube, on blog posts, in books, etc. But it's really the mindset that blocks people. There's been 40 million people who bought Rich Dad Poor Dad. And of course, Robert Kiyosaki says some foul things about people of color recently. And so we've canceled him a little bit, but there was a lot of truth in his book. But 40 million people sold 40 million copies. I would say maybe 10 million people have read the book. And I would say maybe 1 million people have actually implemented the things in that book, right? So the information that is scattered out there on the internet itself is not enough, okay? It's the mindset that is blocking people, all right? Now, I see Lashika says, I'm breaking up. Type clear if you can hear me clearly. Lashika, it may be your connection. All right, yeah, Lashika, so check your connection. Most people are saying that they hearing me clearly, okay? So my big promise tonight is to give you a proven path to rent and mortgage freedom. So what do I mean by rent and mortgage freedom? Rent and mortgage freedom is the result of buying multifamily real estate, which has cash flow that eliminates your housing expense forever, okay? Rent and mortgage freedom is the result of buying multifamily real estate, which has cash flow that eliminates your housing expense forever. So for most people, their housing expense, whether it's rent or mortgage, takes about 1/3 of the money that they bring into their household every single month. Now, when you buy multifamily property in the right way, literally this one single decision will lead to immediate freedom, because now you won't have a rent or mortgage expense for the rest of your life. I'm a living example of that. I've never made a mortgage payment in my entire life. So in chat, let me know what would happen for you if you no longer had a housing expense for the rest of your life. What would happen for you? If you no longer had a housing expense for the rest of your life, my son would be all good, blessed, relief, freedom, can travel more, could breathe, savings, pay down my debt, leave a legacy for my daughter, freedom, savings, freedom, freedom, freedom. Nobody wants to spend time with their family. Y'all been quarantined with your family and y'all like, I don't really like my family. No, it's all good. I know you want to be with your family, but yeah. We all need our space, okay? When you got a rental property, you can take that space if you need to, all right? I could help more people. I love that one. Who said that? Ivan said, I could help more people, right? So this is the power of multifamily real estate. I haven't found one single path out there that could get the average American, and I'm not calling you average, I'm just saying that this path is accessible to everyone. And so this is why I'm so keen on making sure that this is the first asset that is in your family's name, okay? Now, of course, we have this situation with coronavirus, and people are like, what about that Rona though? You know, Black people, we always got to give people nicknames, right? Like Pookie, and now we're giving diseases nicknames like Rona, okay? There's going to be a lot of Corona babies coming out this December. You know that, right? You know, it's about to be Corona with a K, right? Corona with a C. It's going to be Rona. It's going to be crazy because people in quarantine shacking up, and you know what people do when they quarantine and shack up. It's going to be some Corona babies out here. The name Corona just go through the roof. Please don't name your child after no disease, all right? So we're going to have fun tonight, y'all, if you can't tell. I got some corny jokes. Please laugh at them. And even if you don't laugh, I'm going to laugh at myself, okay? So let's have some fun tonight, y'all. So what does coronavirus mean for you all? Well, here's what it means. In the last recession, you can see that the average home in the United States, the price at the bottom of the last recession was $208,000. $208,000 for a single family home. Now, of course, this webinar is not about single family homes, but I just want to show you the trends in real estate. And these trends continue to replicate themselves over and over and over again. If you would have bought a single family home at the end of the last recession, right, in this dip that we're currently in, that I want you to all be able to take advantage of in the next 3 months, right? If you were to buy a single family home in 2010, right, that same home would be worth $324,000 today. So if you would have bought while everybody else was scared, you would literally be up $116,000 in your net worth right now. Yes, it would be in the form of home equity, but you would literally be up $116,000 if you would have bought while everybody else was scared. And so that dip that you see right here, that dip is occurring is from the moment that all of these people who went into forbearance in March, April, the forbearance is going to end in July, August. So in the fall, they're going to either have to pay up or they're going to have to give up their homes and sell them at a discounted price. This is what I'm positioning you to take advantage of, okay? So coronavirus is actually helping you all who are here and trying to aggressively acquire real estate. Is going to hurt people who bought real estate in the wrong way, who got caught up in the American dream, all right? So the other thing about multifamily real estate is, which is very interesting, is that this is rent in the past few recessions. This blue line represents rent. Now, what happens to rent in the midst of an economic recession? Look at this, y'all. These red lines represent rent. Rent goes up in the midst of a recession. Julian, how is that so? People losing their jobs, all this negative stuff is happening, police brutality, all these things are happening. How does rent go up? Let me show you. In any market, there are permanent renters, people who will never be in position to own. Then there are renters who are looking to buy. And then there are single family buyers. And a lot of these single family buyers, they bought a 5-bedroom home for a 3-person family. Why? Because grandma's going to come over on Thanksgiving weekend and for Christmas. So they bought all this extra home that they couldn't really afford just to have a bedroom for grandma. They got caught up in the American dream. So now one of them loses their job and they can't pay that mortgage anymore. So what happens? They either sell at a discounted price or they get foreclosed on. When they get foreclosed on, where do they become? They become renters. They become renters. And so now the number of people who need to rent goes up, but the number of rental units does not go up. When demand goes up, but supply does not change, what happens to price, y'all? When demand goes up, but the supply does not change, what happens to price? It's basic economics. Price goes up. So this is why rents increase in the midst of an economic recession. It's not landlords being mean. It's just that the demand has actually gone up for their rental units because of single family buyers who bought wrong. All right. So this is just basic economics that you need to know. So the reason I'm here tonight is because if you don't move and take advantage of this window that is about to emerge and get ready for it, then rents are going to continue to rise for those of you who are renting, which make it harder for you to save because rents are rising, but your wages aren't rising. Some of you are furloughed right now. You're down to 80% pay. Some of you got laid off, right? And then while that is happening, the prices of real estate will start going back up, which then will make it harder for you to buy. So if you don't take action on acquiring multifamily real estate very soon, there may come a point where you never, ever own. And here's why. There's a gap between the rich and the poor. Okay. Right now, that gap is still, you're still able to cross over it. It's not just good education anymore that'll get you to the other side, because good education will also get you into debt. So it kind of moves you forward, but it also pulls you back at the same time. Some people can't get financed because of their high student debt. Okay. Their DTI is not aligning. So this is actually hindering their ability to build wealth, right? Especially if they got a degree that isn't a specific tactical thing, a liberal arts degree. No, we don't need liberal arts. What I'm teaching you tonight is liberation arts. Okay, there's liberal arts, which you pay for, and there's liberation arts, which frees you. Tonight, I'm teaching you liberation arts. I'm teaching you how to get free, regardless of your education level. Okay, so what's going to continue to happen is that the gap between the rich and the poor are going to continue to expand, 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 and it's going to expand so wide that at some point, if you were born on this side, on the less affluent side, it will be impossible for you to get across to the other side unless you get a financial windfall from a life insurance policy that your parents or your grandma or somebody left you. So this is why this is so urgent right now to take advantage of this opportunity, because the gap will continue to expand. Okay. So multifamily real estate is the most proven business model of all time. Okay. When you look at the feudal system was in 900 AD in Europe. And in the feudal system, kings gave land to lords in exchange for loyalty. Kings gave land to lords in exchange for loyalty. So where do you think the word landlord came from? It comes from the feudal system, okay? It comes from the feudal system. So this business model that I'm teaching you is literally 1,100 years old. I cannot guarantee you that Amazon's gonna be here 1,100 years from now. I can't guarantee you that Tesla or Apple will be here 1,100 years from now. But as long as human beings are still on the face of this earth, then guess what? Multifamily real estate will be here 1,100 years from now, and it'll be more valuable than ever, especially as the population increases, all right? Now, before we go forward, I need to address a big myth that a lot of people have. It's like, Julian, I could never afford multifamily real estate. I can't even afford real estate in general. And that is your own limiting thinking and your own beliefs, okay? This is my actual W-2 from 2012. I told you earlier that I acquired that first property in Brooklyn in 2013. So this is the W-2 where I made $36,000 in 2012 that they used to qualify me to acquire that property in Brooklyn in 2013. Okay, so I got started in real estate. I see Chuck says, can you all hear me? I see somebody says that they can't hear me. Can you all hear me? All right, cool. Chuck, you're gonna have to refresh, but since you can't hear me, hopefully you see these yeses. So I got started in multifamily real estate when I wasn't making a lot of money. I got started in New York City, the most expensive market in the entire world. I got started while I was an entrepreneur, and I got started within 3 years of an economic recession, okay? So this is possible. In fact, many of you have taken yourself out of the game because you don't even know how much the banks would lend you. You believe that you can't afford it, but you don't realize that the real estate is actually the most leveraged asset in the entire world, okay? So, in fact, let me know. Type pre-approved if you've been pre-approved. Type no if you have not. No, 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 no. Never tried. Nope, not yet. Couple pre-approvals. Nope, nope, nope. Pre-approval, pre-approval, never tried, never tried. So all of you who have never tried, you have no clue how much the bank would lend you. One of my students thought that the bank would only lend him $350,000 based on his profile. And guess what? They lent him. They lent him $500,000, $500,000, $150,000 more than he anticipated. And that was enough to play in his market. Some of you are literally taking yourself out of the game. You're sitting on the bench, sitting on the sidelines, looking at everybody else play, when the reality is you have never even tried. And the first way to try, the first step is to go get pre-approved. And it costs you nothing. So for all of you, your homework by Friday is to go get pre-approved. Y'all not even my students. And I'm challenging you by Friday to go get pre-approved. It costs you nothing. All you have to do is go submit some tax returns and some other documents to your lender, and they're going to send you back a number in terms of how much you would qualify for. Okay? Oh, but what about my credit, Julian? 5 lenders can pull your credit in one single month in 30-day period without it affecting your credit score. All I'm asking you to do by Friday is go to one lender and see if you can see how much you get pre-approved for. Okay? You might not get a everybody will get pre-approved. You might only get pre-approved for $50,000 because your credit score is like 200 and you are unemployed, but you can still get pre-approved. Go see how much you'll get pre-approved for. Type, I'll do it. Type, I'll do it. If you are committed to doing that. Type, I'll do it. Okay? Go see. You're going to be surprised by the numbers that come back to you. Go to your bank on lunch tomorrow and go see how much you'll get pre-approved for, right? So when we're talking about multifamily real estate, I'm not talking about those 60-unit buildings, okay? We're not there yet, okay? I'm talking about 2-family, 3-family, and 4-family homes. 2-family, 3-family, and 4-family homes. These particular types of properties only make up 18% of the rental supply, so they're a very specific asset. There's only 2.6 million of them in the United States. But here's the catch, y'all. 2 to 4 family financing for 2 to 4 family homes is the same exact process that you would use to get financed for a single family home. Same documents, no difference whatsoever. And this is what makes it so powerful, because everybody has access to financing for a 2, 3, or 4 family home. And if you buy a 3-family or 4-family home in the right way, you can immediately get to rent and mortgage freedom and never have a housing expense for the rest of your life. This is my goal. This is my hope. This is my prayer for all of you who are here. Okay, so that's what I want to show you tonight. So tonight is for you if you are a renter or single family home buyer who wants to be receiving rents monthly instead of paying rent or mortgage to someone else. It is for you if you're committed to creating generational wealth for yourself and your family by having your money work for you instead of you always working for it. And it is for you if you are willing to make the short-term sacrifices necessary to guarantee long-term financial gains and freedom. I'm going to be very specific about this. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme, y'all. Real estate is not a get-rich-quick scheme. Some of y'all got caught up in get-rich-quick schemes. How many of y'all been caught up in multi-level marketing before? Type me. I'll raise my hand. It was college days, but type me. And you got caught up in multi-level marketing because they were promising you ability to get rich quick. Just go get 2 friends to sign up under you, and within 1 year, you're gonna have all these residual income coming to you. Only people who get rich in those schemes are the people at the top of the pyramid, right? You've been spending all this time chasing these rabbits, these get-rich-quick rabbits, and you haven't caught any, and some of you got set back as a result of doing so. This is get rich guaranteed over time, okay? Multifamily real estate is get rich guaranteed over time, all right? So this is patience. If you're here to get rich quick, this is not the place for you, okay? And I encourage you to sign off, because your expectations will not be met if you need a $50,000 flip within the next 60 days. This is not the place for you, okay? But if you're trying to build long-term generational wealth, then this is where you should be, all right? Now, I want to ask for your permission really quickly. If I give you some great content during this webinar, enough to go take action on, can I get 10 minutes at the end to share an opportunity with you all to consider for those who want to really be about this life and want to take this seriously and want to make sure that they can do it without making any mistakes? Please type yes in chat. All right. Now, again, I only do it if you are interested. For those of you not interested, I'm going to give you enough to chew on on this webinar, enough to take action on. Okay, no fluff here, and you can tell by the first 20 minutes that we've been together that I'm going to give it to you real. All right. Now, for those of you who stay to the end, I will be giving away a free list of down payment assistance programs. Okay, Zoom will let me know if those who stayed past a certain point, and I'll be emailing out this list of down payment assistance programs tomorrow morning. Okay, these are grant programs. Some of them $5,000 grants that'll help you with your down payment or your closing costs. Some of them, if you just take a class, it'll allow you to wrap your closing costs into the mortgage, etc. So this will be sent out tomorrow morning for those who stay till the end. Okay, that's my way of saying thank you for your time tonight. All right. So with that, how many of y'all been on some boring webinars? Type me. Type me if you've been on some boring webinars. All right. So you having fun? You having fun already? You having fun? Am I lively enough for y'all? I know it's late at night. Some of you went to work, whatnot, getting off the corporate plantation. All right. We trying to get free, y'all. We huddled up in a meeting. While Master's sleeping. We huddling in the meeting. We talking about how we gonna get free, y'all. We gonna get free. You hear me? All right, cool. So I'm gonna kick this off with a poem. You probably never heard a poem on a webinar before, but I care about you so much, and I'm doing everything possible. I will do whatever it takes to translate this information to you, to show you the importance of ownership. And so I'm going to share with you a poem that I wrote called the Multifamily Poem. And, you know, I'm homeschooling my daughter, and how do kids learn? They learn through song and rhyme. And so I put this poem together for you all. Okay. It's called the Multifamily Poem. Why don't we hack houses like frat houses where everyone living good for just a few thousand? Some will say it's lousy while they slaving proudly, spending 1/3 of their revenue to pay for housing. Living on your own, but you don't own ish. Can't even get a loan. Student debt is thinking a high wage is the way to get rich. Not if your living expenses rise directly with it. Trying to keep up with the Joneses, deep in debt till you croak. I'm gonna live just like the Jeffersons, pretend that I'm broke. Then I'll buy a multifamily, let the rents pay the note. Perhaps you could be my tenant. Yo, That would be dope. I keep my cost of living low along with my blood pressure. Because if you always stressing, it's hard to enjoy pleasure. The man with the most is not the one who wins the race. It's the man with his soul who can look at his own face. 40 acres and a mule is what they taught us in school. I'd rather have 40 apartments in a big money pool. Leverage credit to capital and capital to cash flow. Cash is not king because the interest too low. Some call me a do-gooder. I got good deeds in my name. As the lord of my land, I'll never be a slave. You can dabble in stocks, lose your shirt and your socks, but the demand for housing will never ever stop. Assets, 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 passive, passive, passive. These are the two keys to amass wealth quick. But quick is really relative. It's a long-term game. Who you hustling for? Your first or your last name? Boom. We out here. We out here. All right? So every line in this poem has power. You may not understand every line that I just said right now, but my hope is that one day you will. This is wealth consciousness that I'm teaching right here, okay? Math for millionaires. You've been taught that cash is king. Cash is not king. Cash is actually pawn. The queen on the board is assets. Those assets give birth to kings, which is cash flow, and then cash flow produces cash, which is pawns. You realize that the moment you give this money to a bank, they try to get rid of it. They try to get rid of this because they know that this is worthless. This is not backed by anything. All it is a green piece of paper. It's not worth more than, it's really not worth more than this Post-it note. In fact, this Post-it note, I could write $1 million idea on this Post-it note. They'll arrest me if I mess up this dollar. Y'all got to understand what's at play. Okay, so I'm trying to give it to you for real. I hope you catching it, y'all. All right, so let's get into it. Myth number one is that I can't afford it. So we already addressed this a little bit with me showing you my W-2, and you realize that when you use the word I can't, you turn off your subconscious mind. Your conscious mind processes 40 bits of information per second. Your subconscious mind processes 40 million bits of information per second. So when you turn off your subconscious mind by saying the word I can't, that subconscious mind stops working for you. When you go to sleep tonight in your bedroom, guess what's gonna happen, y'all? What keeps you breathing? What keeps your heart beating? What tells you it's time to go to the bathroom? Your subconscious mind is at work for you 24/7. But when you say I can't, you turn it off. But when you turn that around and turn it into a question, how can I afford it? Then all of a sudden your subconscious mind will constantly seek an answer to that question 24/7 until it finds one. And so again, some of you don't even know if you can afford it because you haven't been pre-approved. So that is your homework, just to go get pre-approved. So let's just talk about this really quickly. The monthly payment. The reality, in short, is that the average rent in the United States for a two-bedroom home is $1,225, okay? Now, if you buy a $218,000 single-family home in the United States, that's $1,199 mortgage payment, okay? So literally, it's cheaper for you to own a home than it is to rent. So if you've been paying rent on time for extended period of time, some of you have been paying rent for years, some of you have been paying rent for decades, then you can pay a mortgage payment, right? This person wrote to me, she said, Julian, I love your seminar. I really wish I could join, but being a single working mom right now is what's preventing me from pursuing my dream. At this time, I pay $1,200 a month for 9 years, which is insane, and rent to a slumlord who never fixes anything, okay? So this is the opportunity cost of rent. You know how much this woman has actually given to a slumlord who doesn't care about her, her family, or our community at all? She's given this landlord $129,000, y'all. Some of you looking at your bank account don't see too many commas in your bank account, and this is why. It's because you've been giving it away as rent. That $129,000 is not even with interest. If we add 5% interest on that, it's probably more like $175,000. So in chat, really quickly, please let me know, how much are you paying in rent? Type $1,000 rent or $1,000 mortgage. Let me know in chat. $825, $2,000 rent, $1,200 rent, $1,800, $1,100, $1,400, $1,800, $1,200, $1,450, $1,300, $1,900, $2,500 mortgage, $3,200 mortgage, $1,200 mortgage, $2,800 mortgage, $900 mortgage, $1,300 mortgage. We got a lot of single family buyers here. Good. $1,623 rent, $900 rent. All right. Cool. So for those of you who are single family, you are not trapped, okay? I'm gonna show you, there's actually 6 ways for you to reverse yourself out of that situation, okay? But you gotta be willing to do some things in order to make it work, for you to move out of being a home buyer and getting caught up in the American dream and stuck in that web, and actually reposition yourself to be a real estate investor. And we're gonna cover some of those tonight, okay? Now, do you realize, I told you this was a guaranteed path to wealth. If you could, let's just take an average of $1,000, even though that was a lot more, okay? If you could actually take that $1,000 mortgage expense or rent expense, and instead of paying it to someone else, you could actually invest it every single month at 5%, at just 5%, which is very conservative, for the next 40 years, you all would have $1.5 million 40 years from now. You would all have $1.5 million if you could literally just stop paying the housing expense of rent or mortgage of $1,000 and invest it at 5% every single month for the next 40 years. You'd all have $1.5 million. What I'm showing you tonight is a proven path to become a millionaire over time. I'm going to keep repeating that, over time. All right? Over time. Now, some of you are like, Julian, well, I ain't got 40 years left. I'm about to retire, this and that. Stop thinking about yourself. Stop being so selfish. If you only have 20 years left, according to yourself, then at least get the baton 20 years down the line so you could pass it down to the next generation. Stop making every generation start over at zero because you were just living for you. This is about creating generational wealth. I do this for my daughter and for my last name, not for me, so that she can have more freedom to be who she is meant to be. We are so short-sighted. We only think about Saturday. You know that other cultures are thinking in 100-year terms. 40 years is small when you think about 100 years, thinking beyond your own life. How many of us are thinking beyond our own life? That's how you create generational wealth. That's how you create legacy. Some of us can only see past the week, can't even see past the weekend. All right? So let's get into it, y'all. Type renter if you're a renter. Type renter if you're a renter. Okay? So renters, I told you it's going to be a little bit of tough love here tonight. Now, love is the noun, tough is the adjective. So know that I'm coming from love, okay? I'm going to repeat, I'm coming from love. But I realize that soft stuff, it doesn't work. That soft stuff does not get people to change. Oh, it's going to be okay. Just keep on renting. One day it'll work out for you. No, this is tough love, y'all. So for those of you who are renters, I need you to accept for the fact that you are actually homeless. I know I said I am are two of the most powerful words in the English language, but I need you to accept that I am homeless. Because by telling your subconscious mind, oh, this is my apartment, you've told your subconscious mind that you are safe and that you have a place to live, you have a place to stay. Your subconscious mind believes that you own something. The reality is you don't. Now, a lot of you are going to want to invite people over at the end of the quarantine and have a dinner party, and you're going to send out invitations. And on that invitation, you're going to be tempted to type, come over to my apartment. And the reality is you're lying. Because it's not your apartment. You're not on the title. You're not on the deed. So don't put come over to my apartment. Let's keep it real with your friends, right? You can keep it 100 with your friends, right? Say, come over to Tommy's apartment. Come over to Sally's apartment. Because that's where I've been renting for the past 5 years. Do that. Be honest about your situation. See, you were literally supposed to be renting temporarily, but you slipped into renter's consciousness. Okay? You slipped into the renter mentality. You over here painting the walls, setting up bookshelves, buying furniture for certain nooks in the home, putting up art, you mowing the lawn, you sweeping the front yard like it's yours. It is not yours. You should have actually moved into that apartment, had all your boxes laid out in the living room and never unpacked. You should have been living out of the boxes, eating off a paper plates with plastic utensils to remind yourself every time you walk in that this is just a temporary holding space for me. Why am I getting uncomfortable here? Why am I getting comfortable here? This is a temporary space for me. But you got so comfortable. You fully unpacked, threw all those boxes away, bought furniture and everything, and now you don't want to move. And so now you're stuck in renter mentality. And here we have a homeless man who is literally homeless tonight, sleeping outside. And it's raining here in New Orleans tonight, okay? Who's probably been through some traumatic experience, probably has mental health issues, probably has no education, no family, etc. And here you are with the internet, a computer, a cell phone. You have a good head on your shoulders. You have education. You might have a job. And how is it that this homeless man who is sleeping on the bus bench tonight has as many keys to a property as you do? Zero. How do you both have zero properties when they are at such a disadvantage in comparison to you? That makes no sense whatsoever. So it's time for you to get up, get out, and go get something. So my prayer for all of you who are here, and I say this jokingly because I know the power of my words, but I really wish for all of you, jokingly, more rats, more roaches, and more bed bugs. Again, I say that jokingly. I take that back, okay? I take that back. But I think that that's the only thing that's going to make you uncomfortable enough to actually go do something different, because you are not going to be able to rent your way to wealth. If I asked you all to calculate how much rent you paid since you were living on your own, Some of you would be sick to your stomach when you saw that number. And so it's time to do something different. Y'all with me? Okay. So for those of you who are single family buyers, and I know there's quite a few here, it ain't safe, it ain't safe, it ain't safe. Yes, you got caught up in the American dream, watching too many episodes of HGTV, the nuclear family, husband and a wife, and a daughter and a son, and a dog named Lassie with a white picket fence. You bought into it, okay? So let's just look at this really quickly. The word mortgage, if you literally look at the etymology of the word mortgage, mort, same beginning as mortician, the word mortgage literally means death pledge. And many of you are single family buyers, you happily signed a death pledge and then went posted on social media, look at me, I'm a home buyer, I signed this death pledge, but you're smiling. No, you're not though, you should be sad. The bank is smiling. The bank is the one smiling, okay? I'm gonna break this down for you in just a second, okay? If you're a single family buyer, here's the transaction that really occurred. The HGTV has you fooled. Have you thinking that, where are my keys? I don't even have my keys here. Having you thinking, oh, look at me, congrats, you're a homeowner. You're not a homeowner. You're a home buyer. You only paid 3.5% down. You only own 3.5% of that home. The bank owns the other 96.5% of that home. You're not a homeowner until you've actually paid off the mortgage in full. If you miss that 360th payment, guess what? The bank can still snatch that home from you. So you are not a homeowner, you are a home buyer. So let's be very particular about our language, okay? So here's how that transaction really played out for all of you. If you're a single family buyer, the truth is that the bank buys your home, okay? And then it rents it to you for 30 years. You talking about, look at me, I'm not paying rent no more? Yes, you are, watch this. The interest on a $300,000 home with 3.5% down at 4% is $208,000. That $208,000 divided by 360 months is equivalent to $578 per month. So you literally been paying rent, but not to a landlord. You've been paying rent to the bank for their money. You've been renting their money. Okay? And I have not included private mortgage insurance or your utilities or your insurance or your taxes. I haven't included any of that. So literally for some of you who bought single family homes, you have more housing expense going out of the door every single month than somebody who is renting the same square footage across the street from you. This is the American dream. There are literally some of you who have single family homes who are stuck in jobs you hate because you're afraid of missing a mortgage payment. You know that that's the easiest way to trap somebody in a job? Go help them get a home that they can barely afford and they will be with you for 30 years. Some of you are literally stuck in jobs you hate because you have a mortgage. This is the real transaction that occurred. But they'll have you thinking that you're winning when you're really losing, okay? So for the single family buyers that are here, please type messed up if you messed up. And I'm not doing this to shame you. I'm doing this to educate all of the renters who are here because there's more renters here than single family buyers. Please let them know not to follow your footsteps. Renters, are you seeing this? Okay? Nobody's going to admit this publicly, but we're in a safe space. Everybody's anonymous here, and they're letting you know, don't follow my path. Don't come this way. They are here for a reason because they're trying to get out of their situation, and I'm going to show them how to, okay? So again, this is not to shame the single family buyers. This is to show you a different way, all right? So let's keep it pushing, y'all. So if you can pay rent, you can own a single family home. But again, we're not here to own single family homes. If you don't want to pay rent or mortgage, you can simply own a multifamily home. It's that simple. If you don't want to pay rent or mortgage, you can simply own a multifamily home, okay? Now, let's look at the down payment. Let's look at the down payment. A lot of people think, oh, that down payment is too big, I can't afford it, etc. Well, because you told yourself, I can't afford it, then you miss out on opportunities that even pass before your eyes. There's literally a program out there, right? With no down payment, no closing costs, no points and fees, and no credit score consideration. All of these pictures here are men that I actually know. That's Mark, he owns a duplex in Inglewood. That's Kazi, he owns a fourplex in Los Angeles. And Kevin owns a duplex in Brooklyn, New York. They all went through the NACA program. NACA, N-A-C-A. They all went through the NACA program and got financed for these properties. But because you told yourself you can't, even if you were eavesdropping on a conversation, you wouldn't hear it because you told yourself, I can't afford it, and therefore it would have missed you. You weren't operating at the right frequency to even hear the message, okay? So again, that is NACA, www.naca.com. I encourage you to all start that application process. NACA will help you get financed, but that's only the first step, okay? The next and most hard part is actually finding the deal. And we're going to get to that in just a second. So let me show you the next program that is available to you is the government's FHA program. Okay. The FHA program, it only requires 3.5% down. So this is a property that I control here in New Orleans. Remember, I don't own it. I control it though. Okay. I won't own it until the mortgage is paid off, but I have full control over the property. Okay. $300,000, 3.5% down is $10,500. So you could literally control this $300,000 asset for just $10,500 down. Of course, that's only the down payment. There's closing costs and perhaps any repairs, etc. But you can control this property for 3.5% down. All right. That's the government's FHA program. All right. So here's how the game should be played. The single family buyers who are here, what they did is they used their FHA loan to get their single family home. So now they're putting 3.5% down on a $100,000 home. That's only oh, look at me. I got a home for $3,500. Okay. But now they're here tonight and they want to buy multifamily, but little do they know is that for the multifamily, they would have to pay 25% down. So 25% down on a larger property on $300,000 is $75,000. So when you add up those two down payments, that's $78,000. Whereas if they would have just flipped it and changed the sequence and bought the multifamily first with the FHA, now you're doing 3.5% down on $300,000. That's $10,500. After living in there for 1 year, which is the requirement for FHA, then you go buy your single family home and you put a larger down payment on that. And that's only $35,000 in down payments. Okay. So it's literally twice as easy to buy a multifamily first and then a single family than it is to buy a single family first and then a multifamily. Okay. So again, for those of you who are single family buyers, there's 6 ways to reverse yourself out of this situation. Only 2 of them require you to sell. Okay. I don't know how emotionally attached you are to your homes, but there are ways to leverage the home that you do have to change the course. All right. So for those of you who came in late, this is my actual portfolio again. These are the 10 properties that I control. 10 properties, 30 doors, Brooklyn, Oakland, and New Orleans. All right. And so what I'm showing you is proven. And this property here, the first one in Brooklyn, the first one is the most important. And I'm going to show you the play that I ran there. Okay. So look at this. The $100,000, Yvonne, the $100,000 is just numerical. You can put in any number and it'll still play out the same. I just did that for easy math sake. Okay. I just did that for easy math sake so you can understand the math. Please look at the principle, not the numbers. Every market has different numbers. Are we clear on that, y'all? Okay, cool. So here's the play that we are all seeking to run. This is what I'm trying to teach you. It's going to look easy on paper. It's harder to execute because there are nuances in order to get this first property the right way. Many of you are renting right now. You're paying $1,000 a month to a landlord, and perhaps you're saving $20 or $250. So that landlord is collecting $3,000 from this property. Then they pay a mortgage of $1,500 to the bank, and they pocket $1,500. Okay. Now, what you're trying to do is you're trying to be the landlord. So you want to go acquire a similar asset. Now you aren't renting, you have a rental. You move into the bottom unit just like I did in Brooklyn, okay? And now you're getting $2,000 in rent from the upper floors, okay? But guess what? You're also no longer paying rent over here. So that's actually $3,000 because you're not paying rent over here anymore. So you have $3,000. What do? You take that $3,000 and you pay the $1,500 mortgage to the bank, and now you're up $1,500 and you're living for free. This is rent and mortgage freedom. You're living for free and you're pocketing $1,500. Okay. Now with FHA has a 1-year living requirement. So you live there for 1 year. You move into the dream home, the detached single family home, the white picket fence that you always imagine when you were a little girl or a young boy, right? And now what you do is you fill in a tenant in the unit that you were in. Now you're getting $3,000 from this property. You have the $1,000 that you're not paying rent from earlier, a year ago. So that's $4,000. You take $1,500, pay this mortgage. You take $1,500, pay this mortgage. Now you have 4 doors, a 3-family home, and your single family home. You're not paying the mortgage on either one, and you're pocketing $1,000. Literally, some of you are 3 months away from achieving rent and mortgage freedom. All you have to do is learn the game. Some of you are literally 3 months away from achieving rent and mortgage freedom. You just have to learn the game so that you buy this first property right. And then some of you are literally only 15 months away from not only having a multifamily asset, but also having the single family home that you desire and you not paying the mortgage on any of them. I could get my single family home that I wanted right now, but single family home doesn't make sense to me. So I just keep buying multifamily homes. The home that I live in, it's a multifamily. Yeah, I got people who I share walls with. That's okay. I'm not paying the mortgage. They pay the mortgage. This is a sacrifice that I'm willing to make. I may not make this sacrifice for my entire life, but this is what has allowed me to amass the wealth that I've been able to create in the period of time that I have been able to. Okay. So this is the play that we are seeking to run. It's really basic on paper, but we have to make sure that we get this right. Now, Helena says, I have 5 people in my family. Helena, look, in Brooklyn, the family that moved in next door to me, it was an Asian family. It was a husband and a wife who had 2 kids. Guess what? Another Asian family moved into that apartment with them. That other Asian family was with them for 2 years, stacking. And guess what? That other Asian family ended up buying a property 2 blocks away. We're just not willing to make the sacrifice. Literally, let's just call a spade a spade. If you're not willing to do it, just say, I wasn't willing. Go ahead and type. If I'm not willing to make the sacrifices, just type, I'm not willing. Let's not blame it on racism. Not blame it on my job. Let's not blame it on the banks. Let's not blame it on anybody. Just look in the mirror and just say to yourself, dang, I wasn't willing. Just say, I wasn't willing. Let's stop making excuses, y'all, and just say, I wasn't willing. All right? We got to be real honest with ourselves. We can't keep blaming other people and other institutions, because every time we blame somebody, we're giving our power away to other people. These Asian families packed in 2 families into a same unit that I was living in one unit with one family until the other one could break free. Just say, I wasn't willing. Don't use it as an excuse. Say, I was not willing. Okay? And if you're not willing, it's going to be a hard road for you. All right? Look, I'm saying this out of love, y'all. I'm not calling out the young woman. I'm not even going to repeat her name. I don't remember her name. I'm letting you know, I know how powerful this is, y'all. And I want it for you. And because what they say, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Right? So I know this works, y'all. I just know it works. And so I just want you to see that it works and get on the path. All right? So let's keep it pushing. So the multifamily math, let me address this real quick. So if I told you that I found an ATM machine that would pay you pay your $1,000 a month housing expense forever, and on top of that, give you $90 cash every single month, all you had to do was pay $10,500 one time, would you give up or go get the money? I found an ATM machine. It'll pay your housing expense of $1,000 every single month for the rest of your life and give you $90 cash every single month, guaranteed. All you have to do is pay $10,500 one time. Would you give up or go get the money? Wow. Y'all, this is basic math. You would literally be able to pay back whatever loan you had to take out in 10 months. And then after that, it's all upside after that. Okay, I'm seeing people now. Okay, I go get the money. You know me, I'm about that life. I go secure that bag. You know me, I do what I gotta do. You know. Some of y'all be talking mess with your fingers. Some of y'all be talking mess with your fingers, with your Twitter fingers. All right. So look at this, y'all. This is the ATM machine right here. This is the duplex that I control here in New Orleans. 3% down on $300,000, $10,500. The rents on this property are $1,600 per unit. That's $3,200. The mortgage is $1,259. The taxes, insurance are $335. The CapEx, repair reserve, and vacancy rate every single month is $515. That leaves me with $1,090 every single month, like clockwork. Like clockwork. Okay? This is an ATM machine. You've been passing it on your way to work, on your way to pick up your kids, on your way to the grocery store, but your eyes weren't trained to see the opportunity that was right in front of you. And so somebody else swooped on it because their eyes could actually run the numbers. They could evaluate the deal. You just thought it was this building that was too expensive that you could never afford, and therefore you never looked into it. Okay? This is an ATM machine for me, and I have 10 of them. I have 10 of these ATM machines, and they were going to pay me and my last name for the rest of my life. Okay? I want you to get an ATM machine, y'all. Okay? So answer me this. What other business can you buy for $300,000 with only $10,500 down and get financed for the other $289,000 in 30 to 45 days that immediately cash flows in 30 days and succeed with minimal time, effort, or experience? Please let me know in chat. Told y'all we was gonna have fun tonight. Look, y'all, there's no, how about what is none, Alex? Remember, you got to ask it as a question, right? You got to answer as a question on Jeopardy. All right. So there is none. All right. Now, when it comes to buying multifamily real estate, it's different than buying single family real estate. In single family real estate is how much did I get approved for? I got approved for 500,000. How much was the house? It was 490. Do I like it? Yes. 3 factors. But when it comes to acquiring multifamily real estate, there's literally 23 numbers that you need to know to effectively evaluate a real estate deal. This is a financial model that I've developed over the past 6 years, and this allows me to evaluate deals in less than 10 minutes. You have to know every single number. You leave out one number, and guess what? It can mess up your entire deal. One missing number can mess up your entire deal. So you have to know how to evaluate these deals and make offers quickly, because the only thing that beats a cash offer is a fast offer. Some of you have been getting beat out by cash offers. The only thing that beats a cash offer is a fast offer. So you need all these numbers. This spreadsheet literally tells me, once I plug in all these orange cells, this spreadsheet literally tells me down here whether I should purchase or pass on the deal. I don't make purchases based on emotion. I make purchases based on economics. The numbers are all that matter. I've literally made offers on property that I've never even walked into before because the numbers made sense. Okay, so this is how we have to retrain ourselves in terms of acquiring real estate. Because I know how to do this, I'm able to evaluate a deal quickly. I text my agent, and literally within 30 minutes, my offer is in, signed with DocuSign via email. Literally, this is how I make offers, y'all. Okay, and I want to teach you how to operate at this level. Okay, so myth number 2 is I missed my opportunity. As I said before, coronavirus isn't a missed opportunity. You think the economy is going to hell? No. Guess what? Real estate will be bought and sold, and real estate is being bought and sold every single day. Regardless if the economy is up or down, there are deals to be found. So in real estate, the truth is that you actually create your opportunities in real estate. There's no opportunity that you miss. It's not, oh, I missed that deal. No other deal will come like this ever again. No, you create your opportunities, and I'm going to show you about how to see them. I've said this over and over. We have to learn how to retrain our eyes. Many of you have allowed your eyes to be trained by HGTV foolishness. And I want to make this very clear. Your first investment property probably won't look like anything on HGTV. Guess what? None of my properties will ever be featured on HGTV. And I'm not ashamed of it. But guess what? I would live in all of my properties. All of my properties are in decent condition, but they will never be featured on HGTV. They don't have the qualities and the design aesthetic of HGTV. They don't have the quality and design aesthetic of the home that you envision yourself retiring in and living in for the rest of your life. Your rental properties don't have to look like the property that you ultimately want to live in. Are you clear about that? Your rental properties do not have to look like the property that you ultimately want to live in. I'm not saying be a slumlord. No, I'm anti-slumlord. I'm an ethical investor, okay? All my properties are clean. I would live in all of my properties, okay? But they don't have to look like the property that you ultimately want to live in, the one that you would put on your vision board, all right? So a lot of you have been watching shows like the Property Brothers. I say, screw the Property Brothers, okay? I'm your new property brother with an A. Now I'm gonna keep it real with you about real estate. Have I been keeping it real with you about real estate? Have I been keeping it real with you about real estate? Okay? This game is about guaranteed cash flow, not granite countertops, y'all. Y'all get so enamored by granite countertops and stainless steel appliances and all these buzzwords that don't matter. You realize that a stainless steel fridge costs like $800? You're about to make a $400,000 investment based on you seeing an $800 refrigerator in the building? That makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. It makes no sense whatsoever, okay? So we have to be able to walk into a property and see it for its true value and worth, not for all these buzzwords that agents and HGTV try to sell you on, all right? So let me show you my first property in Brooklyn, okay? My first property in Brooklyn was very clean, okay? Not a traditional brownstone, but it was a 3-family and cash flowed like a brownstone, okay? It had the linen white paint, the same paint they use in all the NYCHA projects. They just went as cheap as possible on the paint. You can see the light fixtures. That was the most basic light fixture at Home Depot. Look at my countertops, y'all. Look at my countertops, the cheapest countertops in the entire world. My appliances, not stainless steel. The only thing stainless steel in my kitchen is the sink. The cabinets, straight from Home Depot or Lowe's, right? This was my first home, but guess what? It wasn't my dream home, and I was fully aware of that, but it made my dreams possible. My first home was not my dream home, but it made my dreams possible, y'all, because I had an asset in my family at this point in time. Okay? So let me share with you the difference between a single family HGTV buyer and a multifamily real estate investor. Single family buyers looking for granite countertops, multifamily investors looking for guaranteed cash flow. Single family buyer buys based on emotion, multifamily investors buys based on economics. Single family buyers looking for their dream home, multifamily investors looking for an asset that will pay for their dream home. Single family buyers is looking for a place to raise their kids, multifamily investors looking for a place to raise their net worth. Single family buyers looking for a place to call home, multifamily investors are looking for a place that other people can call home. Single family buyers is looking for open concept, multifamily investors is looking for open possibilities. Single family buyers are looking for finished basement. Multifamily investors looking to start building wealth. You have to decide which side of the line you want to be on, y'all. If you play this side of the line right, I guarantee that you can have the single family home that you want without you even paying the mortgage, because the other assets you have will be paying the mortgage for you. But if you want to start with the single family of your dreams right out the gates because you're on some other timeline and you're trying to keep up with the Joneses and impress people who come to your house once a year, then there's nothing I can do for you if that's what pulls you more than freedom. Okay? So let's look at the multifamily map. I know a lot of you are searching for properties on Trulia and Zillow, and I just want to be very clear with you. This is not where I find real estate deals. Mass marketed listings command a 30% premium to off-market deals. I find off-market deals. When I find off-market deals, I find discounts. There is a specific difference between a real estate listing and a real estate deal. Trulia and Zillow have a lot of real estate listings. That is not where I go to find real estate deals. Okay? Do not use that language synonymously. Those are two different things. A real estate deal is a deal where I'm walking into equity, where it has at least a 12% cash on cash return, where it has definite potential for appreciation because of where it's located. This is a real estate deal. Just because there's real estate listings, once it's listed, you got the whole world seeing it. Some of you are relying on real estate agents. Tell me this. How many of you went to an agent and was like, I want a property with this many square footage and this many bedrooms, this many bathrooms. I want it in this neighborhood for this price point. And then all of a sudden they put you on an email list and you're getting some email with no listings every single day. And you don't even open it anymore. How many of you look for properties like that? That's being lazy and you know it. You know how many people are getting that exact same email that you're getting who want a castle for the price of a cardboard box? Okay? This is not how you find real estate deals. You find off-market deals through research and through relationships, not through some websites. I don't rely on these websites to find deals, and that's what I want to show you, okay? So look at this. I got deals coming to me through Instagram. I got deals coming to me from wholesalers via text message. I got deals being sent to me on Facebook and in our Facebook group. I got deals coming to me every single way, deals that you have never seen on MLS, okay? These are called pocket deals. Pocket deals are deals that are passed on from people's pockets to another person's pocket, from a lender, from a real estate agent, from a wholesaler, from a contractor. Some of my contractors send me more deals than anybody else because they're always in people's homes and talking to owners, okay? So you have to learn how to find off-market deals, not rely on these websites. Here's one of my students. They said, Gabrielle said, Ronique, congratulations. Did you find this deal on Zillow? No, I found it through a real estate financial broker who knew a wholesaler. This is not where my students who are winning are actually finding deals. They're finding them off market, not online, okay? So you have to develop what I call the 4 eyes of real estate, okay? The 4 eyes of real estate. The first one is eyes for the market, okay? You have to know whether a market that you're in is expanding or contracting. If it's expanding or contracting, and there's specific data that you look for to determine that. Then you have to have eyes for the neighborhood. There's literally 33 plus signs of gentrification, and they're all here. Literally, one of them is if you see white women jogging at 9 p.m. feeling real comfortable at night, then guess what? That neighborhood is either too far gone and gentrified or it's about to gentrify. So as long as there's 20 signs of gentrification there, you know that that neighborhood is about to turn, okay? So you need to be able to see what all of those things are. Then you have to have eyes for the property. Eyes for the property, I'll show you what that means. You need to, see, I've systematized all of this. This is all in my head, but I've systematized it so that others can use it. When I go into the property, I'm not looking at stainless steel appliances and granite countertops. I'm looking for hidden value, and I'm looking for hidden costs. And I go through and I quickly check off these things, right? This is how I determine whether I'm going to buy a property, not based on some granite countertops and some stainless steel appliances, all right? So this is really key to being able to identify real estate deals, is that you need to learn how to find off-market deals and be able to evaluate them quickly and make offers decisively, all right? So let's wrap up with myth number 3. Myth number 3, I see some questions coming up. I'm gonna answer questions at the end, so hold tight. I'm gonna answer questions at the end, okay? So myth number 3, I need to pay down my debt first. This one is gonna blow some of your minds. This is the one that's gonna give some of y'all a headache because of just your perceptions and understanding of money and debt. You probably had a negative relationship with debt due to credit cards and student loans and things of that nature, but you've been dealing with bad debt. So you have this assumption that you need to pay down your debt first, and that's not true. The reality is that you need to buy an asset that pays down your debt first. I'm gonna pause. You don't need to pay down your debt. You need to buy an asset that will pay down your debt first. Did y'all catch that? Watch this. True financial freedom. A lot of you are on that Dave Ramsey tip. Some of you are Dave Ramsey fans, okay? And Dave Ramsey wants you to ring that bell and say, look at me, I'm debt free, woohoo. I'm gonna show you how that's gonna slow down your wealth building. See, Dave Ramsey was in real estate, he bought wrong and he lost it all. So Dave Ramsey comes from a fear consciousness, okay? And there are people who need to be on that because they are also in fear consciousness. But if you really want to build wealth, you cannot operate from fear consciousness. So this is why he has debt now. I guarantee you go look at his balance sheet, he has debt now, okay? Debt can actually accelerate how quickly you build wealth if you have good debt. There's a difference between good debt and bad debt. See, even if you're debt free, watch this. I'm going to be very clear. Debt free does not mean financially free, y'all. Debt free does not mean financially free, because why? Financial freedom is when your passive income is greater than your cost of living. Just because you have no debt, if all your income is still active income, meaning that you're still trading time for money, you are not financially free. So debt freedom does not mean financial freedom. I want all of you to have financial freedom, okay? So here's the difference between good debt and bad debt. Bad debt, which is most people's experience, 95% of people's experience, is bad debt. Single family home mortgage, it doesn't pay for itself. Credit card debt, it doesn't pay for itself, you pay for it. Student debt, it does not pay for itself, you pay for it, okay? This is bad debt, and these are the kinds of debts that most people have, right? So what you want to do is you actually want to buy an asset using good debt, like a mortgage, right, on a multifamily property that then provides you, one, with cash flow, so you use that cash flow to pay off your credit card debt. Then the fact that you're paying no rent, you can send that back to pay off your single family home mortgage. And then the fact that you're gonna get tax savings on this property, you use that to pay off your student loans. So now you are using good debt to buy an asset that then pays off all of your bad debt. And then once your bad debts are gone, guess what? You get to keep and benefit and you use all of that cash flow that is coming from the asset that you use good debt to acquire. Are you understanding this, y'all? Is this making sense? Okay, so let me show you this. How many of you have student loans? How many have student loans? Well, y'all filling up my screen. All right, cool. Watch this. 2 people with $40,000 in student loans, okay? Watch this. One person is on the Dave Ramsey plan and they're gonna be in a rush to pay off their student loans. I wanna be debt-free, I want my student loans gone forever. The other person buys an asset first. They buy an asset first. They go use good debt to acquire an asset. Here's what happens. The person who's gonna rush to pay it off, they're gonna pay off $20,000 per year. The other person was on this webinar and they bought a $300,000 asset, a multifamily home. And they're like, I'm gonna use the cash flow from that to pay off my student loans, okay? So now, back to person A who's rushing to pay off their debt, for 20,000 year 1, 20,000 year 2, now it's year 3, how much money do they have? They have no money because they use it all to pay off their student debt, right? They use it all to pay off their student debt. So now they have to save up more money, okay? And now they're ready to go finally purchase that asset that the other person bought immediately. But watch this, how much does that asset cost, y'all? How much does that same home cost 4 years later? If it appreciated by 3% every single year, how much does it cost? That same home now costs $340,000, whereas the other person who bought it immediately bought it for $300,000. So catch this, y'all. The person was rushing to pay off their $40,000 debt, paid it off in 2 years, had to save to buy a multifamily home, but then they got the debt handed right back to them by paying an additional $40,000 for the same exact home. They thought they were rushing to pay off their debt and being good. But now the price of the asset that they could have acquired immediately is now up $40,000. So they got the $40,000 debt handed right back to them in the form of a mortgage instead of student loans. Do y'all see what just happened? This is why we are not rushing to pay off student loan debt if it's below 5%. We want to go acquire good assets, use good assets, good debt to acquire assets that will pay off the bad debts that we have. Does that make sense, y'all? Okay. So let me show you the 4 benefits of multifamily real estate. This same property that I've been showing you, okay? This is what it's going to do for me and my last name over the next 30 years. Remember, this is get rich guaranteed over time. All right. I just want to be very clear about that. This is not get rich quick. So over the next 30 years, this property is going to yield $638,000 in cash flow. $638,000 in cash flow. That's after principal, interest, taxes, insurance, capex, repair reserve, and vacancy rate. Okay. That's money that's going into my pocket. The tax savings on this property, because I get to depreciate it over 27.5 years, will be $278,000 that I do not pay Uncle Sam. Okay. The principal pay down will be paid down by the tenants with their rents will be $225,000. And then the appreciation, if it appreciates by 1% over the next 30 years, and properties actually appreciate by 3%, so I'm being very conservative, would be an additional $104,000. So this one single property, y'all, will actually yield a $1.2 million shift in generational wealth for my last name. And I have 10 of them as of this moment in time, and I will be acquiring more. This is the power of multifamily real estate. You cannot do this with single family real estate. There are no tax write-offs of this extent with single family real estate. There is no cash flow with single family real estate. There is no principal pay down. The only benefit that you could get from single family real estate is appreciation, but you can't bank on that. You have no control over that, okay? So this is why multifamily real estate is so powerful, all right? So a lot of people talk about securing the bag. Well, here's what you do. You secure the bag by securing a building, and then that will secure your housing, your retirement, and your legacy. And so with that, I want to ask you to share what was your greatest takeaway from tonight's talk? What was your greatest takeaway from tonight's class? And I'm going to take questions in just a second. I just want to read off, see if y'all caught what I was throwing. Securing your legacy, getting multifamily first, that I can do it. The mask has been lifted. Not paying mortgage by myself. Knowledge is good. Buy multifamily. Wealth building, just do it. Buy multifamily. This is all feasible. Moving outside of fear. Generational wealth. The NACA program, getting pre-qualified. Mind change. Investing in self first. Generational wealth. The order in which you do things. The myths. The game plan if done right. Beautiful. 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 Good. 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 So earlier, you gave me permission that if I rock, that I could share an opportunity with you. If you're not interested in this opportunity, then feel free to sign off. I hope you've gotten enough game tonight to go take action with what I have. But if you are really serious about making this happen and you want to learn from somebody who's done it and stop trying to do DIY and do it on your own, which may be saving you money but actually costing you time, then I'm going to share this opportunity with you to learn from me and accelerate your process. All right. So, I got the green light from y'all. We good? Can I share? All right, good. Beautiful. So obviously you're here because you're committed to generational wealth, creating passive income and more freedom. And I know because that was me too. Now there's many different ways to make money in real estate, a real estate agent, tax liens, wholesaling, property management, vacation rentals like Airbnb, fixing and flipping, multifamily. Where I can do a deep dive with you is actually in multifamily real estate. This is where my expertise is, and I'm excited to be able to teach this to you and do a deep dive with you. The real question you have to ask yourself is the $1,000,000 question is, what are you going to do today to make sure that you are never economically vulnerable like this tomorrow? What are you going to do today to make sure that you are never economically vulnerable like this tomorrow? All right. And so if you came in late, this is my actual real estate portfolio again. I have 10 multifamily homes across the country with 30 doors. And this is what I've been able to build. All right. And I want to show you exactly how I've done that. Right now, we're focused on you getting this first property. This first property makes all the difference. And this is what I'm focused on helping you acquire. All right. So I want to invite you all to be a part of a program that I created called the Multifamily Masterplan, which is a 12-week experience for you, where I'm going to walk you through everything that we just discussed and a lot more to accelerate how quickly you're able to buy a multifamily home in the right way that gives you rent freedom if you are a renter, and or positive cash flow that pays another debt like a mortgage, single family, student loans, credit cards, or medical bills. The way the program is structured is 5 modules. Module 1 is finance it, then find it, then finalize it, fix it, and fill it. All right. In module 1, finance it, I'm going to show you no to low money down programs and grants you can use to get started without a huge savings. What exactly are lenders looking for? The key numbers and ratios to be aware of. Quick credit fixes to improve your credit score and keep your interest rate down and save tens of thousands of dollars by doing so. FHA loans debunked, the dark side that most people don't tell you beyond it only being 3.5% down. Why you must shop for lenders first and not the home, and how to get the lowest interest rates possible by doing so, and why you should go as big as possible on your first multifamily home as long as it makes sense. Module 2, find it. I'm going to show you how to find great deals in your backyard, literally. How to use the internet and the specific websites you need to know to find and do due diligence on a deal. Again, that's not truly a Zillow or Redfin. How to evaluate a deal in another state if you're investing from a distance. Why the asking price doesn't matter, and the real metrics that make a deal worth it or not. And the people and tools you need in place to get off-market deals coming to you daily. All right. Then in module 3, finalize, and I'm going to show you the 23 numbers you need to truly evaluate whether to purchase or pass on a real estate opportunity, how to quickly evaluate a deal in 10 minutes or less so that you can get an offer in before anyone else. Remember, the only thing that beats a cash offer is a fast offer. The 4 most overlooked numbers that can make or break a real estate deal, how to never pay at or above asking price and get it reduced to whatever you desire without worrying about the seller walking away, and the 5 ways to exit any deal if the numbers aren't adding up or something doesn't feel right. Right? In the Fix It module, I'm going to share with you the 10 types of contractors that you need to have and trust in and on speed dial once a deal is in motion. Okay, this is before you put in an offer, not after you got the property. You need to have these people in place before. And I'm going to share with you why in just a second. How to vet your team beyond using Yelp or Angie's List, and the questions to ask and the things to look for. Walk, crawl, climb, everything you must do, ask, and look for during the inspection process. Literally, I've taught my students, and some of my students have been able to get the price reduced by $35,000 using the inspection process, because the inspection process is one of your greatest points of leverage if you have your contractors in place. So I teach that strategy in the program. First things first, what are the very first things you need to do once you have the keys? Hint, it is not move in. And then fix it or nix it. What you should fix immediately and what can wait for later until cash starts flowing, okay? And then in the Fill It module, you're a landlord now. How to avoid the 3 a.m. phone calls and manage a building without always being there. How to find great tenants fast if you have vacant units that need to be filled, what you need, who you need, and where to post. You're going to get a free download of my sample lease agreement, and then long distance investing secrets, how to manage your investments without being there in the top 20 markets to invest in real estate in right now. Okay. Now, again, for those of you who are single family buyers, I know you're like, oh my goodness, I messed up. It's all good, y'all. Okay. I have a specific module that I created for you that lays out the 6 options that you have to reverse yourself out of that situation. Again, only 2 of them require you to sell, but there are many different questions that I would have to coach you through to be able to help you to determine the right path, right? How emotionally attached are you to the home? What is the interest rate? How much equity do you have in it? When did you buy it? Do you have kids? Do they go to a school in that district? Are you willing to move? Are you willing to rent that property? There's all kinds of questions that I would need to ask you to help you determine what is the right path for you to get back on track to becoming a real estate investor. But I have all of that laid out for you here in the program. I just want to walk through some of the success stories. I have many of them. I won't go through them all, but the Roll family said Julian's journey has always been an inspiration to my wife and I. We didn't think we were ready, but Julian helped us see that we were. Now we own a 4-plex in Los Angeles that is already appreciated and generates enough cash flow for my wife and I to both step into entrepreneurship full time while still being financially responsible parents of our 1-year-old daughter, Jubilee. The Campbell family, my issue was that I had a rental property that I wasn't cash flowing because I didn't buy right, as Julian always says. Thanks to his coaching, we came up with a strategy to sell that property and leverage it up into a multifamily unit using a 1031 exchange. We found a real estate attorney to transfer the rental property out of my name and into the LLC. And now that we corrected our real estate wrongs and have a cash flowing Airbnb in Charlotte, which Julian taught me how to scale quickly, and a multifamily where we live mortgage-free in one of the 2 units. This is Dante. He's from New Orleans. I helped him find this duplex here. A lot of my students are closing in New Orleans because I'm on the ground here. I got deals coming to me all the time, and I pass them on to my students, especially the duplexes. I only do 4plexes and higher at this point in time, okay? And so Dante, I found this property, and he closed on that on September 19th. Jackie, she joined July 4th, closed on October 31st, last Halloween. That's why her agent is looking like a scarecrow. And she bought a 3-family and a single family from a distressed seller at discounted prices in Philadelphia. Okay, so Jackie's in Philadelphia. I talked to you about Spencer earlier. He lives in Texas, but bought a duplex in his hometown of Cleveland, Ohio. Again, this is a strategy of buying in smaller markets for those of you who are in expensive markets. This is Romaro. They live in the Bay Area. They live in Oakland, and they bought in Detroit. Okay, so again, your money does not have to work in the same city as you do. Okay, so you have several examples of people where their money is not working in the same city as they do. All right. So that's okay. And I teach you how to invest like that as well. Jason closed on this property. He lives in San Antonio, Texas. I helped him find this property about 5 blocks away from me here in New Orleans. Ronique lives in Birmingham, Alabama. He bought this 4plex here on October 4th, and he's already on his second property, which he bought for $25,000. Going to put $45,000 into it, and it's going after repair value is going to be $175,000. So he's literally about to walk into $100,000 in equity in 6 months based on what I've taught him in this program. All right. One of our youngest students is Demetrius. He is also a vet, and he closed on this 4plex in Killeen, Texas in 4 months. And he did that in February. Steven lives in New York and got this property here in New Orleans for $35,000 under asking price at the end of last year. April, on February 21st, closed on this beachfront 4plex in just 3 months, and she's living there, enjoying her best life. Jay closed on this single family. Typically, I don't encourage my students to do single families, but this one had so much equity in it upon purchase that it still made sense to buy. So her first rental was actually a single family that she got under market value. Fernando, they closed on this property in Los Angeles, California on March 5th, 2020. And they're actually running the group home business model through that. And they said that with the group home numbers, the numbers are absolutely crazy. Terrence closed on this 4plex with a VA loan in Pittsburgh on April 14th. So not too long ago. And he's moving into one of those units. Jetro closed. I got students literally closing in the midst of coronavirus, y'all. Jetro closed on this property in Gainesville, Florida. He went to U of F, so he doesn't live there, but he bought this in Gainesville, Florida on April 30th. He closed on this 4plex. Sandra closed on this double in Kansas City, Missouri for $15,000. She's going to put money into it, be able to get it rented out and do a cash out refi and step into equity and still have cash flow. Nicole closed on this 4plex in Chicago. She joined July 13th, closed on April 15th. So everybody's on different timelines, y'all. The original asking price was $362,000. She got it for $340,000, $22,000 under asking, y'all. And her interest rate is only 3.5%. Devin closed on this property in New Jersey. For those of you who are in the Northeast, in East Orange, New Jersey, in 2 months. And he closed during COVID. This is literally May 12th, y'all. So that's him masked up. And then our most recent closing was last week, y'all. Alan closed on this 3plex in Baltimore on June 17th. What was that? June 17th. What was that? I forgot what day. Thursday. Let me read what Alan said. I just want to thank you for the great service that you provide. I learned a great deal from you, your detailed instruction for the past 3 months during the pandemic, and I recently closed on a multifamily property in Baltimore, Maryland on 6/17/20. The property cash flows and is in an appreciating market with built-in equity as well. I would not have the confidence to handle that deal like such a boss without the expert knowledge provided in your course. I felt like I had the answers to the test every step along the way. Thanks again, brother, for the gateway to freedom and generational wealth. I will certainly pay it forward. Best regards, Alan. That one moved my heart because 1, he's a vet, and 2, he is a disabled veteran, and he was, because of the quarantine, he was able to take his 23-year-old daughter through the entire process with him. So she's going to be the one who inherits the generational wealth. And now she understands the game as well. So this is a wealth transfer of knowledge as well as a financial wealth transfer as well. So that one moved my heart. I just heard about that on Sunday. So yeah, It's going down, y'all. So let me just share this with you really quickly. So the multifamily master plan will normally cost $1,999 on its own. But tonight I'm going to show you how you can get access to it for free. Okay. Yes, I repeat, I'm going to show you how you can get access to it for free. All right. What's the catch? What's the catch, Julian? All you have to do is join the Multifamily Movement Mastermind, which is committed to creating freedom and generational wealth through real estate. My mission is to help 300 families, just like Harriet Tubman did, to acquire a cash flow positive multifamily home within 6 months of being pre-qualified. Being pre-approved and pre-qualified are two different things. What do you mean, Julian? You just said it was free. What do you mean I got to join this thing? Let me explain to you. I've been teaching online for 10 years now, and only 7% of people complete online courses when left up to their own devices. See, I'm not just here for the transfer of information, I'm here for your transformation. And if the information does not get integrated, then there will be no transformation in your life. Just be honest with me in chat. How many of you have a book on your shelf that you intended to read to transform one area of your life that you haven't even opened, or an online course that you bought, but you barely logged in more than 3 times? Let me know in chat. Okay? So you know that's the deal. So when you join the Multifamily Movement Mastermind, the mastermind allows me to hold you accountable. You are paying for the accountability and the structure that I provide. And once you are willing to pay for the accountability and the structure I provide, I will give you access to every piece of knowledge I have about multifamily real estate in my mind and through the program. Okay? I do not give my pearls away just freely. But if you are willing to be held accountable to actually taking action every single day, every single week, and moving the ball forward, I will give you everything in my mind. Again, this information is scattered out all over the internet. Blog posts, YouTube, podcasts. You can go try to piece it together on your own. It is out there, and real estate hasn't changed drastically. But what I do is I actually hold you accountable to making sure that you take action. This is why I have all the results that you see there. I don't value the Freedom School by how many students I have, my enrollment. I value the Freedom School by how many people I help get to the finish line. That is the only thing that matters to me. Okay. So when you say I'm willing to pay for the accountability and the structure and follow your lead, Julian, I will give you access to everything. So that's what I mean by the program is free. Right now, this is a movement in real life. This is 100 of us here in New Orleans on MLK weekend last year for my wealth and real estate weekend. That's me right there. And that's my daughter on her scooter in the pink jacket, fist up. All right. Glad we got that one in before COVID. That event will be on MLK weekend this year, and you all get a free ticket to that if you join the program. So the multifamily master plan course will be $1,999, but again, it's not a traditional course. Only 20% of this program will be on the computer, because guess what? Real estate deals won't land on your lap on a computer. So 40% of this program is actually on the phone, talking to contractors, talking to agents, talking to lenders, talking to wholesalers, building your entire real estate Rolodex. The other 40% of this program will actually be in your car or in your shoes, actually visiting new neighborhoods and properties. Real estate is a contact sport. You have to be in contact with people and properties, okay? That's how we win. So this is not a program where you're just gonna sit in front of a computer, watch some videos, not take notes and not do anything, and just hope that somehow you magically find a real estate deal. That's not how this works. So every week, this is an experiential program. So every week you will have a new challenge to complete, not some videos to watch, a new challenge to complete. There's the financial house cleaning challenge, the lender shopping challenge, the pre-approval challenge, the real estate agent challenge, the neighborhood knowledge challenge #1, a deal a day challenge #1. Then we go into week 7, the real estate team building challenge. Then you do the new neighborhood challenge and the deal a day challenge over and over and over again until it becomes habitual. Because in order to find a deal, you have to look at many different listings in order to funnel those down to actually find a real estate deal. Okay, so let me show you really quickly what the program looks like on the inside. It is thorough. It has everything you need. It is a linear program. You go step by step by step. When you get in there, do not skip steps. It is linear. So each week there are mindset modules that you start with, and then there are movement modules. So we learn something, we shift our mindset, and then we go take action. Then we learn something, we shift our mindset, then we go take action. This is how the program is set up. This is now at week 7, week 8, week 9, all right? Every single detail is there for you. Every question that you have has been answered, and it is laid out for you in a linear fashion. So how do I hold you accountable? Every week, we have our weekly deal room calls on Sunday nights, okay? The weekly deal room calls, this is where you can get coached by me, okay? There's no one-on-one coaching in this program, but you can get coached by me when you sign up for the hot seat. So when you sign up for the hot seat, I will coach you one-on-one, but it will be in the context of the entire community so everybody can learn from my thought process and whatever challenge that you're going through. So I typically do about 3 hot seats on that call, and I do detailed coaching. And you're gonna learn from me as you hear the questions that I ask, my thought process, how I analyze deals, etc., on those calls. And so every single week, you have to report what you accomplished in the week before. Then we're gonna do the coaching. You can be in the hot seat if you choose to be, and then you have to set a game plan for the upcoming week. This is the accountability structure and system to make sure that you succeed, all right? For those of you who are asking, you were like, can I get the spreadsheet? No, I do not give the spreadsheet away for free. The spreadsheet is priceless, okay? But as a student, you immediately get access to the Purchase or Pass Deal Analyzer so that you can start evaluating deals and make sure that you never make any mistakes, all right? Then on top of that, you will all get a free ticket to my free 2-day event in New Orleans, which is my Wealth and Real Estate Weekend. On day 1, the Saturday, we actually go over all the wealth building principles that I have beyond real estate, how I think about taxes, insurance, how I think about wealth consciousness, mental wealth, right? How I organize my money and automate my wealth building, and et cetera. And then on day 2, we do real estate, where we go look at my properties, look at some of the construction that I'm doing, and look at deals that we might be able even to do together, okay? So when you put all those things together, the Multifamily Master Plan at $19.99, the Multifamily Movement weekly deal room calls and coaching at $2,399, the Purchase or Pass Deal Analyzer, which is priceless, and the live 2-day event in New Orleans at $599. Together, that is $4,997, but that is not what you will be paying tonight whatsoever, okay? But let me ask you this. Would it be worth $4,997 one time to eliminate your monthly rent expense or single-family home mortgage forever? Please let me know in chat. Would it be worth $4,997 one time to eliminate your monthly rent expense and single-family home mortgage forever? That's like a no-brainer, y'all. Would it be worth $4,997 if all it did was help you acquire one cash flow positive multifamily home within the next year? Let's say you didn't close in 3 or 4 months like some of my most successful students. What if it takes you a year? Would it still be worth it if you found that property, that deal of a lifetime, over the course of a year? Would it be worth $4,997 if the only thing you learned was how to buy right so that you never ended up underwater on a real estate deal thanks to the Purchase or Pass Deal Analyzer? Because if you buy wrong, you'll literally be backpedaling for years, okay? And I don't want that for you. We want this to be a domino effect. We want your first property to lead to your second, third, and fourth. This is what we want to create, okay? So you got a couple options to join. The first option is gonna feel free, but it's gonna cost you the most, and that is for you to do nothing. Okay, that's for you to do nothing. It's going to feel free. It's going to cost you the most. And a lot of you have been trying to piece this together through podcasts and YouTube. And I was like, that's not working for folks. So I need to organize it into a system that everybody can live by and move by, right? This workbook is all in the program for you to execute. And it has everything that you need to succeed. You literally keep this in your purse, your backpack, your car, and you take this with you when you're going out to see properties. Okay. Now, if you do nothing, what's going to happen is the rents are going to keep rising, which makes it harder for you to save, and the prices of real estate are going to start rising again, make it harder for you to buy. We're in a very unique window where forbearance is going to end, the prices are going to drop, and by the time you learn how to think like a real estate investor, I want you to be able to take advantage of the prices down here so that you have built-in equity in the property, okay? So, option number 2. Earlier, you all told me that when I asked you this hypothetical situation, would you give up or go get the money? Y'all was like, you know me, I'm about that life. I'll do what I got to do. I go get that 10,500. Okay. That's what you said earlier, right? When it was a hypothetical situation, right? But now you're really at a crossroads. Okay. Do I continue on the path that I've been on, or do I take a different path towards my financial future that I desire? So this is a real time to make a decision whether you're going to give up, right? Path number 1, or if you're going to go get the money. And so the first option to join is a one-time payment plan of $14.97. $14.97. So literally what I'm asking you and offering you is the opportunity for $14.97, which for many of you is 1 to 2 months of rent or mortgage expense. I'm asking you for 1 to 2 months of rent or mortgage expense to put yourself in a position to never pay rent or mortgage ever again. All I'm asking you is for the equivalent of 1 or 2 months of rent or mortgage expense to position yourself to never pay rent or mortgage ever again, okay? Now, when you do the one-time payment, you get access to everything immediately. You also save $597, okay? So you can go to multifamilymovement.com. That's multifamilymovement.com, okay? I put the link in chat, or you can type it in. I'll put the link in chat again, multifamilymovement.com. Click on that link in the chat and go there now to see the opportunities that are available, okay? Now, does that sound like a fair price, y'all? Does that sound like a fair price? Because I don't want your down payment. You do need skin in the game to be held accountable, but I don't want your down payment. You realize that I've been to Fortune Builder meetings, and you realize that Fortune Builders charges $15,000 for what I'm sharing with you. They charge $15,000. How many of you been to some of their meetings? I went to their hotel meeting, 70% people of color there. And I just saw them taking people's down payments. I don't want your down payment. I want you to have your down payment because I want you to win, okay? So $14.97 is more than fair. More than fair. I can charge a lot more, but I don't want to. I want this to be accessible. Now, how many of you need a payment plan? I know Corona and this economy has money a little funny for folks, okay? How many need a payment plan? Let me know. How many need a payment plan? That's all right. It's okay. Nothing to be ashamed of, okay? I'm trying to put you in position where you never need a payment plan again because you have guaranteed money coming in whether the economy is up or down. A lot of people are asking about my portfolio. Of my 27 occupied doors, only one tenant did not pay rent during coronavirus because one, I screened my tenants the right way. That was a tenant that I inherited with a recent purchase. And then 1/3 of my portfolio is Section 8. So guess what? I had guaranteed rents coming in regardless of the economy is up or down. And those Section 8 tenants, they cover 75% of my mortgage payments. So you don't just want to diversify your assets, you actually want to diversify your tenants and your tenant types as well, okay? So I'm giving you the game, y'all, all right? So check this out. One student, he said this was yesterday actually. Brandon said, thanks to you, bro. I was apprehensive at first to take your class due to your price point. I thought I could have learned from YouTube University, laugh out loud. In retrospect, you dropped too many jewels for me to count. One example saved me $1,200 by making the lenders compete. It was money well spent. For any new people reading this, Julian is the truth, good people, and has a wealth of knowledge. Appreciate all that you do, good brother, and profound impact that you have, that you make on so many, okay? So Brendan just sent this yesterday and I decided to put it in here to show y'all. So for those of you who need a payment plan, my offer to you is $349 a month for only 6 months. This is not a subscription plan that just goes on indefinitely forever. I don't want that. I don't want to be incentivized to try to keep you forever. No, I want you to win as quickly as possible. But I recognize that you may not have $14.97 right now, and that is a financial red flag for me, okay? For you to not have $14.97 means that something is not working, and we need to do something different. And one of those things that we can do different is actually get an asset in your family's last name. So the $349 per month only lasts for 6 months. The total payments on that will be $2,094, okay? Now, when you are on the subscription plan, your modules get dripped to you every month when your payments come in. When you pay in full, you get access to everything immediately. You get access to all the modules immediately. But if you need a payment plan, that's perfectly fine, okay? And you'll go at your own pace with the payment plan, okay? So again, you can go to multifamilymovement.com, multifamilymovement.com. Yes, it is cheaper to pay in full. I reward folks who dive headfirst, who say, I'm all in, Julian, right? Because then you're fully committed. And I don't have to worry about trying to motivate you because you are already fully committed. So I reward folks who are in full commitment, okay? So those are your two options. And here's the deal. I know some of you are doing your taxes late because the tax deadline got pushed back. For those of you on a payment plan, I don't want that extra $597, okay? I don't want it. So here's your option. You can start on the payment plan and I will honor the $14.97 for the 60 days. So here's what will happen. You'll start on the payment plan today. And then if you pay the $1148 balance within 30 days, then I'll honor the $14.97. Otherwise, you have till 60 days. You'll pay $349 today, $349 a month from now. And if you pay the final balance of $799 before the 60th day, I will honor the $14.97. That'll leave $597 available more for your down payment, okay? So given this funny economy that we're in, I want you to get into the program And if you can pay in full because you're going to get a tax refund or lump sum within the next 2 months, then you can pay in full and you can have access to everything, and I'll honor the $14.97. Okay? Is that fair? All right. So I'm going to take questions in just a second. Real quick, some bonuses. So one bonus that you're going to get is the Fuel It module. And this is going to show you how I walk through how I scale my portfolio property by property by property. So again, the program is focused on you getting that first property, but then we don't just want a property, we want a portfolio. I'm going to show you how I use property 1, 2, and 3 to buy 4, 5, and 6, and how I use 4, 5, and 6 to buy 7, 8, and 9. So that's what that module is really all about. It's about scale. Then I showed you that how I'm going to save on taxes because of that one property, literally $250,000. So the next bonus is the real estate tax secrets. I'm going to show you how to reduce your tax liability. Again, this is not tax evasion. Tax evasion is illegal. Tax avoidance is leveraging the laws that are available to you. I'm going to show you how to set up your entity in such a way that allows you to maximize all the tax deductions. Then you'll also get Overnight Success, which is my Airbnb program. I built a 6-figure Airbnb business in real estate, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do that quickly as possible if you live in an Airbnb friendly city. And then I saw some of you say you had credit issues. I licensed this program from Tanya Rapley. It's called the Credit Etiquette course. She's been on OWN, and it's a DIY program to show you how to boost your credit score by 50 to 150 points so that you can be in striking distance for getting finance for mortgage, okay? And then bonus number 5 is the Purchase or Pass Deal Analyzer online. I spent thousands of dollars to create an online software where you get to analyze all your deals. This program is not open to the public whatsoever. It is only available to my students. What's really powerful about it is that we have a public deals page where all of my students share all the deals that they've evaluated that they're not actually taking action on. Whether they didn't get financed for that much, they're just doing it as practice. And so you can literally come in here, type in your city, and find deals that are in your city that other students have found off market or on market and actually evaluated. So this taps into the collective wisdom of the group, okay? So when you put everything together, again, you add in the Fuel It module at $997, the tax secrets at $597, Overnight Success $497, Credit Etiquette course at $299, and Purchase a Pass online app at $199. That is $7,586. But again, you're not paying that tonight. You can start for $1497 or $349 per month for 6 months. You say you don't know where to start. Look, I've given you the Multifamily Masterplan, which is a linear blueprint to acquiring your first multifamily real estate. You feel alone in your journey. You're the only person in your family who gets this. Well, come join the weekly deal room calls and our active Facebook group where it's very supportive and congratulatory, and you can ask questions in there as well. I'm in there every single day. You're not good at math. Well, guess what? All the equations are baked into the Purchase or Pass Deal Analyzer. You don't have to be good at math, okay? This is math for millionaires. Okay, there's math from high school, which you may not have been good at, but this is math for millionaires, 2 completely different things. Okay, then you say you need more money, help with money beyond real estate. That's what the Wealth and Real Estate Weekend is for. I'm going to show you all my wealth strategies. Okay, real estate is just one way that we're going to demonstrate the wealth strategies, but I'm going to show them all to you through the Wealth and Real Estate Weekend. You've already bought a single family home. I'm going to show you how to reverse out of that situation and actually get yourself back onto the path of being a real estate investor. Again, for all the single family buyers that are out there, we may look in a smaller market, right? We may refi your home and then go take that money and go make that money work somewhere else. Your money does not have to work in the same city as you do. So there's different strategies, 6 different strategies we can employ for single family buyers. Do I need to create an LLC? No, you do not. But I will show you how to set up your business in such a way that you can actually maximize all the tax deductions that multifamily real estate offers. The prices are too high where you're at. Well, I'll show you how to use Airbnb to get 2 to 3 times what you would get for rents in that particular market. And then if you're having credit issues, then I will give you access to Tanya Rapley's Credit Etiquette course to help boost your credit score, okay? So I wanna share this guarantee with you, is that I'm going to be here until you close, y'all. This is my coach until you close guarantee. This is not, oh, I got a new student and you'll never see me again. No, I found that this is the only path that I know that every person who really wants it has access to getting more free. And so I'm committed to helping as many people get free on this path as possible. So I will be here to coach you until you close. This is a lifetime membership, y'all. Okay, this is a lifetime membership. And because of that, because I'm going to be here to support you, and I know that when you close, you're going to get an infinite return on your investment. Because of that, there are no refunds for this program. There are no refunds for this program. There are no refunds for this program. I know this program works when you work it. When you show up and do your part, which means right here, it says when you're completing the course modules, analyzing deals, meeting people, visiting properties, and making offers, I know you will close on a deal, and that the return on that deal that you have over your lifetime will be infinite in comparison to the price of $14.97. Okay? So there are no refunds on this program, but I will coach you until you close as long as you show up and do the work. On top of that, you all get a free buddy pass. A free buddy pass, meaning that you can bring your best friend, blood, or business partner into the program with you. I believe that you will be more successful when you have somebody who lives near you and with you on the ground, supporting you and holding you accountable. So best friend could be a spouse or a homie, blood, sibling, parents or kids, or business partner, whoever you're going to invest with. Again, you get to bring your buddy into the program for absolutely free, okay? They get access to everything that you do except the free ticket to the New Orleans event, okay? These are two sisters, Velveeta and Velvet, who are in Los Angeles, who are working through this process together. I think they are twins. I'm pretty sure they're twins, and they're working through this process together. You only pay one payment, okay? One payment, and they're working on this together, and you can see their togetherness just in that picture. Now, if you join within the next 15 minutes, okay, by 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 9 o'clock Central Standard Time, I will give you another free bonus ticket to the event worth $599. If you join in the next 15 minutes by the end of the hour, I will give you a free buddy ticket. Your registration will be timestamped, and I'll know, and I'll do a hard stop at 9 o'clock my time. So again, you can go to multifamilymovement.com to join. Again, it's not $7,586. You can join for $14.97. A lot of you, no, all of you are literally only one deal away. This was my first deal. I had no clue that I would be here 7 years later as a result of this first purchase. But when you do this right, then it becomes a domino effect, y'all. And what I mean by that, that first purchase leads to the second, third, fourth, fifth, and this is how you build wealth. This is how wealth gets built, okay? But we need to find that first domino, and we need to make sure that we buy it right, okay? We do not want to buy it wrong. So for those of you, the event is MLK weekend every year, okay? So for those of you who are on the other page at multifamilymovement.com, when you start, you're going to get onboarded. You're going to get your deal analyzer. You're going to start the online course. You're going to go through orientation. We're going to have our weekly deal room call on Sunday, and you'll start your first challenge. You'll start your first challenge right away, okay? And your password, your temporary password will be the word freedom, all lowercase, okay? So for those of you who are on the Multifamily Movement page, I want you to know that your password, your temporary password is the word freedom, all lowercase. I know you probably can't see me because you're on the other page, but I just want you to hear that, all right? Now, there is a price of procrastination, okay? If you join today, it's $349 per month for 6 months after, or $14.97 one time, lifetime, okay? But after Friday at midnight, you have till Friday at midnight, okay? I know some of you need to move money around in between accounts and things of that nature. You have till Friday at midnight to join. But after Friday at midnight, the price will jump up to $3,997. No bonuses included. I know earlier you told me that it was worth $4,997 at least. And so this is what the price will jump up to. If you try to come back to this page on Saturday morning, it will say $3,997. Okay. So you have till Friday at midnight. Okay. The course is designed for 12 weeks, but you can take as long as you need. Okay. You may say, I'm on the 24-week plan because I'm busy right now, or I just have a newborn, or something like that, okay? You go at your own pace, but it is designed for you to complete it in 12 weeks, okay? For those of you who are here right now, you can go to, those of you who are here right now, I will get you timestamps and look out in your email tomorrow for the list of down payment assistance programs, okay? Look out in your email and check your spam as well for the list of down payment assistance programs tomorrow morning. And with that, I want to say thank you so much for being here tonight. And I would like to take questions, okay? Now, the way I take questions is I'm going to use the Q&A function below, okay? Please do not use chat. Please do not use the chat. You're going to use the Q&A function below, and I'm going to answer questions in order, okay? Right now, we have 34 questions. I'm going to answer them in order. So if you're like, oh, he's not answering my question, this and that, it's not that. It's just that there's a lot of questions ahead of you. Hopefully, many of the questions are duplicates, and I'm going to get through as many as I can because I want you to make the most informed decision about this program in the same way that I want you to make the most informed decision as possible about real estate, all right? So let's go. Let's get into these questions, y'all. Andrea, how about refinancing now? Interest rates are low. Would you advise for doing this? Andrea, there is a refinancing calculation that you have to evaluate. It depends on how much equity you have in your home, depends on what the closing costs are on that refinance, but interest rates are extremely low and it could be a good time. We have a mortgage broker that we rely on heavily in the program. In fact, we have a bonus call with him tomorrow. We have a bonus call with him tomorrow night, and he'll be able to answer all of your mortgage related questions. So if you want access to that call, please join tonight so that you get all the email information about that bonus call tomorrow night. Okay. How can I get in the game with no W-2, 250K worth of student loan debt deferment? Tiana, in all honesty, it's going to be very difficult for you to get in the game right now. They're going to take your student loan debt of $250,000 and they're going to take 1% of that and consider that your monthly payment of $2,500. Plus you have no W-2 at this time. So your DTI will probably not be in the right range for you to qualify for a mortgage. So it's gonna be very difficult with that degree of debt. So this is probably not best for you at this moment in time. I'm sorry to say that. I know that these colleges and these educational institutions have been literally taking advantage of us. They've been in cahoots with the government to give us as many loans as possible. I'm sorry that that happened to you, and I hope that you're able to get back on your feet in terms of income, because you're going to need a very significant income for your debt to income ratio to be in alignment from financing. Okay. Can you share this webinar? I'm going to send out the replay for those of you who have a significant other or a friend who you're going to bring in the program, split the payment with, etc. I'm going to send out the replay so you can share it with them between now and Friday. All right. How can someone get started with low credit and no start money? Antoine, we're going to encourage you to, one, go through Tanya Rapley's credit etiquette course. If that does not jump your score, then we encourage you to pay for credit repair. And we also encourage you to go through, if you have no money, we encourage you to go through NACA to see if they will finance you. Okay. Monique, how do you keep the property and tenants from becoming a drain on your time and money? Monique, that's a great question. My tenants are not a drain on my time and money whatsoever. In fact, we set aside repair reserves and CapEx for any fixes that need to be done to the property. So literally, if I get $3,000 in rent from a property, I'm setting aside $600 of that, not in my pocket, but in a separate account for future fixes and any potential vacancy as well. Then on top of that, in terms of tenants, Monique, it's all about your screening process. The way you screen tenants, which I teach you in the program, will determine how many problems you have with tenants. When you just accept a tenant because you want rent that month and you haven't really screened them and done the background checks and things of that nature, then you're probably going to have a problem on your hands. Okay. But the way I teach you to screen tenants and what I teach you to look for will prevent you from having bad tenants. I love all my tenants, y'all. My tenants are absolutely amazing. So, and I take care of them. I provide quality, affordable housing for about 60 people. And so I'm grateful for each and every one of my tenants. This whole tenant landlord thing where there's tenants versus landlords, that's not my experience. I care for my people. I'm a steward of them, and I'm responsible for providing quality housing for them. And so we have a whole different dynamic in the way that I teach you to relate to tenants. Okay. Please, Monique, and anybody I answer their question, please let me know in the chat that you were satisfied with the answer. Monique has another question. If I'm on a forbearance, will that stop me from buying if I can pay the rears off at once? Yes, Monique. What they didn't let you know in forbearance is that that's going to show up on your credit report, and that's going to make it difficult for you to get financing. I'm not sure how long it's going to stay on your credit report, but they didn't communicate that effectively, and so it will make it difficult for you to get financing, because that's going to be seen as a ding that she couldn't pay during this tough time. That's a red flag for us to be able to finance her for more money. Okay. But again, our mortgage call with our mortgage expert is tomorrow night. So sign up and come ask that question there. Besides Section 8 tenants, how can you diversify tenants? Great question, Kendira. So you can diversify your tenants with property types. So there's A class, B class, and C class properties, Kendira. C class properties are properties that are in the hood, right? B class properties are like lower middle class properties, and then there's A class properties, which are high end. I don't have any A class properties. I typically go with B class properties because they're in the middle. When people fall off they come down to B class, and when people come up, they go to B class. So I like properties in the middle. So through the way I design some of my properties, so some of the properties I do have granite countertops and stainless steel appliances. Other properties I have plain white fridges and basic countertops, and that attracts a different type of tenant and a different type of price point. So that allows me to diversify my tenants. I might have white collar tenants here, blue collar tenants here, and Section 8 tenants here. So some of it is the design and the location of your purchases that help you diversify your tenant pool. Okay. I see questions still coming in the chat. Please copy them and put them over in the Q&A. There's actually 110 questions in the Q&A, so I'm answering as many as I possibly can as quickly as I can, y'all. So excuse me if I'm talking fast. Anonymous, what percent of the $36,000 per month is your net income? Anonymous, that is about it's about 33% is net income. So about 12,000, okay? But then remember, my principal is being paid down, and the properties are appreciating at the same time. So, and then once these mortgages are paid off, then that would jump up to about probably about 75%, but I'm not paying off the mortgages. The tenants are paying off the mortgages. So that's a great question. And the reason it's only at 33% because unlike most people, I teach you how to set aside, when evaluating deals, I teach you to set aside money for CapEx, which is long-term things like roof, HVAC change, plumbing, foundation. I teach you to take money from rents and set it aside for that, repair reserves, and for vacancy rate. Okay, vacancy rate is 5%, repair reserves is 5 to 10%, and CapEx is 10%. So I'm literally setting aside 20 to 25% of rents that I could be pocketing. Okay, I'm setting it aside for future expenses. Okay, so that number would be more like 50% of the 36,000, but because I am conservative when I evaluate deals and make sure that I save money for future repairs, then I don't perceive that money as money that's mine to pocket or to use. Does that make sense, Anonymous? Okay. Diane, I'm going through NACA and they telling me I need 21K. Can I get that in grants? Diane, if you're going through NACA, that's one of the best loans to get. If they're telling you need another 21K, I'm not sure of what other grants you can add on. It's kind of like when they say you go to a store, you can't add 250% coupons onto each other and say, can I get 100% off? I don't know if that's possible, Diane. Leopold, do you have all your properties under corporation name or under my name? Great question. Leopold, let me show you real quick. For those of you who are like, does he really own those properties? I'm gonna show you where you can go verify yourself. You can go to nolaassessor.com, nolaassessor.com, and see my properties in New Orleans. You can look under Newton, Julian, Gordon for some of my properties, and then you can also search for Purpose Properties, which is the name of my real estate company, because I want all my properties to have purpose. And Leopold, so only 2 properties are under my business name because those are commercial properties, meaning that they're 5 units or more. Okay, only 2 properties are under my commercial name. It's very difficult to get finance under an LLC unless you have a long-standing relationship with a bank or literally the mortgage person at that bank. Okay, they have to be able to vouch for you to get financed as an LLC. The reason why is I can go create an LLC in 15 minutes. I can go get incorporated in Delaware, and I can go get an EIN number in 15 minutes. Would you? How many of you would finance me $500,000 for an LLC that I just created 15 minutes ago with no credit history, no cash flow, no income, no assets whatsoever? How many of you would finance me for $500,000? No, you wouldn't, right? So that's why banks don't finance LLCs, because most LLCs don't have any track record or great documentation of income. Okay, so for this FHA, you cannot get finance FHA as an LLC. It's going to require you leveraging your own credit and cash flow. Okay. April, do I go through the same route if I would like to build a duplex or triplex? April, it is very challenging to get construction loans at this moment in time. So your ability to get finance for the land and for construction is going to be very difficult at this moment in time. I do teach how to do not fix and flips, but how to force appreciation through building, but I do not teach complete new rebuilds. I teach you how to take a property that is kind of out of service and run down and develop that property, and then do a cash out refi. It's called the Burr method. I teach you how to do that. Walking you through exact example of how I bought a property for $330,000, put 100 into it. That property appraised at 650. Okay, so I put 430 into the property appraised at $650,000 last week. Okay, so now I'm going to do a refi out of that, get all of my original money out of it, and still be able to cash flow. Okay. I would like my son to see this video. Yes, it will be, the replay will be available tomorrow. How do you contend with repairs and upkeep? I know you said you buy based off of cost, not necessarily going into the properties, but you have had a property that was in horrible repair once you get into it. Samsung, I know that's not your name, that's your phone, but when you go, so I will make an offer based on not seeing the property. But once I go in and I do an inspection, if I see it's in irreparable, or it's no property is irreparable, but if I see that it's going to cost too much and it's going to be too much of a headache to renovate this property, then I just cancel the contract. Okay. So you want to get the contract first. If you don't get the contract, then you have no leverage whatsoever. So you want to get the contract, and then you have your inspection process, which you're able to evaluate further whether or not you're going to go forward on that deal. Do you have any programs for multi-units greater than 5 doors? Do you have any one-on-one programs at this time? I do not have any one-on-one programs. For 5 units, it's the same process. LaDonna, this is pretty much the same process. I am developing 194 units out in Baton Rouge right now as part of the Buyback Baton Rouge Fund, but I'm not teaching that yet. Okay, I'm not teaching that as a program yet. But in terms of evaluating a 5-plex, I have a 5-plex in my portfolio. It's the same exact process. Okay. The only difference, LaDonna, is the financing, because you can't get FHA or NACA financing for 5-plex. So the financing is different, and we're going to have to find a commercial lender. And the terms on that are usually a 5-year ARM with 20%, a 20-year amortization instead of a 30-year, which can affect cash flow. Do you buy one multifamily at a time? How would you be able to possess more than one multifamily? Nick, I bought 7 last year. I did not buy 2 at a time. I do have a student who bought 2 properties from one seller at the same time, but there's no gap or period that you need in between purchases. If you have the money and your debt to income ratio supports it, you can buy as many properties as you want. Okay. Obina, I have a bit of experience in 1 to 4 units. I'm wanting to do 10 units or bigger. Does this program include this? Obina, this is that's similar to LaDonna's question. I have not done a 10-unit deal myself. I have done a commercial deal, but not a 10-unit. So I don't want you to pay me to teach you something that I haven't done. Okay, I'm gonna repeat that. I don't want you. I only teach what I have done. Okay, I don't want to give any hypotheticals to you. I only teach what I've done. So this would not be the space for that. Again, I am developing 194 units out in among 7 properties in Baton Rouge, but I'm not prepared to teach that to you at this moment in time, brother or sister. K Rankins, how long is a pre-approval good for? It's usually 60 days, 60 to 90 days. Tiana, how can one get into the game with no W-2? I answered that one. What if I can't get a loan? Nicole, well, then we have to, if you can't get a loan, then we have to get you a loan. So we either have to fix your credit, we have to fix your cash flow, or we have to fix in your cash savings. Those are the 3 criteria for getting financed. So we have to figure that out. Otherwise we won't be able to get you financed, and we won't be able to get you a property. So if you feel like for some reason those are going to be impossible for you, then this program will probably not be the best for you. But credit is repairable. If you feel like I'm never going to get a job, then you're never going to get a job, then this program is not for you. And if you haven't been able to save $1,000 in your life, then this program is not for you. I'm not saying that that's you, Nicole. I'm just saying in general. Okay. We have to get finance in order to make this work. Do you have a Cash App so I can sow into your ministry? Wow, Christine. That means a lot. I appreciate that. This is ministry for me. My Cash App is my name, Julian Gordon, Jullien, Gordon, Gordon. And Christine, I'm grateful to you. I will be taking that gift and I'll be giving it to someone who's in need. So know that I'll be paying that gift forward. Kareen, is the real estate weekend limited to only people in the program? Can I pay to attend, pay to have others attend? If there are seats, my students get first access. So let's say we have a venue for 100 and my students take up all the seats, then there will be no room for outsiders. But if there are seats available, then we will make them available to the public. Jamila, does the program have a set start date? Could I start in July? Jamila, you can start whenever. You go at your own pace. Let's say you buy now to lock in this deal, and then you're like, you're going on vacation, you're doing whatever. Then you start in July. That's perfectly fine. Chanel, how do you manage repairs in buildings in states you don't live in? For those of you who know you need to invest in a different market, you need a great property manager, okay? And that property manager should have an extensive real estate Rolodex, and that's how you execute everything. I have properties in Brooklyn and Oakland. I have great property managers who execute on everything. I don't even get calls. They handle everything, okay? The only time I get called if I need to pay for something, okay? So having a great property manager, eyes and ears on the ground boots on the ground that you trust is how you do it. That's simple. CG, I own my house free and clear, and how hard will it be? How hard will it be? We don't have a lot of cash. CG, we can leverage that house since you own it free and clear. We can refinance it we don't have to refinance the whole thing and give you a whole brand new mortgage. We can refinance, let's say, I typically only coach you to refinance based on what we're gonna need to buy a multifamily in another market at 25% down. So I would coach you, we'd figure out how much is your property worth, what would the refinancing look like, would you be able to afford the refinance, et cetera. Then we could take that money, let's say you're able to get 75 out, what market can we take 75, go leverage that up into $300,000 purchase, 25% down, right, the 75, and have that deal cash flow, then send that money back to pay your mortgage, your new mortgage based on the refi. So this is how we map that all out, CG. William, for those of you who it is past 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, so hopefully you took advantage of the extra bonus ticket. Again, it's multifamilymovement.com. It's multifamilymovement.com. So go there if you are ready to join. William, my wife is currently working out of state. Is this webinar recorded? Yes. I'll send out the replay tomorrow, y'all. My credit is shot. How can I do this program? You can come in, you can take a credit etiquette course, or you can get credit repair. We have a recommended credit repair service inside the program that is an additional fee, but it's a company that we trust. But yeah, your credit can be repaired, and it may take some time, but your credit can be repaired. Ricardo, do you provide assistance with finding lenders with self-employed buyers? Ricardo, yes, we have a mortgage broker who is great at identifying lenders that will fit your profile. I do encourage you to make sure that you start paying yourself every single month out of the business, whether it's just a direct transfer from the business account to your personal account for $1,000 every 2 weeks. I encourage you to do that because you want to show that you are legitimately paying yourself out of the business. Okay, so make sure you start doing that tonight. Set that up tonight if you're not doing that already. Jeff King, I joined the stream. Am I able to view entirely? Yes, I'm gonna send out the replay. What should your credit score be? For FHA right now, they require 660. It was 580 as of February, but now it's 660. NACA is a lot more lenient with credit scores, okay? Helena, what is your opinion about using these houses for Airbnbs in this current Corona pandemic? Airbnb is pretty shot right now, and we don't know how Airbnb is going to recover. The deal, whatever deal you do, Helena, should work, whether it's Airbnb or market rate tenant, okay? So we want the deal to work if it's market rate. We don't not want to buy a deal based on hoping that Airbnb works. We want to buy a deal that works even if it's a market rate deal, and then if Airbnb works, then that's just icing on the cake. Jamel, if I have $325,000 home, Can I refinance that into my LLC so I can be free to use personal? No, you will not be able to refinance the home into an LLC, Jamel. But there's ways for us to leverage that home still, even in your name. Brian, how do you evaluate existing building versus new construction? New construction is difficult to do right now, y'all. It's hard to get hard money or construction loans at this moment in time. Morgan, if you already have a multifamily, can this show you how to get the next one? Yes, Morgan. I show you step by step how I built my entire portfolio. So for most people, they'll be going from 0 to 1. But Morgan, congratulations to you. You already have one. I'll show you how to set yourself up to get the next one. Okay. Tiffany, I'm going to answer 5 more questions, y'all, and we'll call it a night. Tiffany, I have already bought a single family home, but it needs a lot of work. How would this program work for me? Tiffany, if that a single family home, if you're not emotionally attached to it and it's going to be a money drain for you, and you're not going to be able to force appreciation on it, we may sell it. We may sell it. I don't know how emotionally attached you are. I would coach you through that process. So let's say you have the damaged house. It's going to cost you $50,000. Let's say you bought the house for $250,000. You need $50,000 of work. That's $300,000. But when you get it appraised, it's only going to be appraised at $310,000. That's not really worth the effort and the energy. So we may say, look, just sell it and let's go start anew and actually go get an asset. So some people aren't willing to do that, but I would coach you through that process. I'm not saying that that's exactly the path that you would have to go, Tiffany, but this is how I would coach you. For those of you who need to use PayPal, PayPal is an option. If you look under the green button here on multifamilymovement.com, if you look under the green button, there's PayPal links right here. And when you go to PayPal, you can pay with credit card, okay? PayPal is very secure, and you click on this gray button. It says pay with debit or credit card here, and you can make your payment through PayPal, all right? So I just wanted to show that some people have money from PayPal, from side hustles and things of that nature, all right? Joe, it's free to get an EIN number. I paid $250 and found out it should have been free. Yes, it's free to get an EIN number. This is what happens when you don't know stuff. Intellectual property will get you physical property, y'all. What you know, what I teach you will get you physical property. When you don't know stuff, it costs you. Joe is sharing an example. He paid $250 for an EIN number. EIN numbers are free. So there are people out there who are hustling you. So be mindful, y'all. Get educated. Brandon, what is the expected weekly time commitment to complete the program? Brandon, I encourage at least 5 hours per week. 5 hours per week, okay? If you can do more, great, but 5 hours per week. It all depends on how bad you want it and how fast you want the result, but at minimum 5 hours a week, okay? 30 minutes a day to 5 hours a week. So that's 3.5 hours to 5 hours. What about no W-2, no debt? You're gonna need W-2. You're gonna need proof of income somehow. Okay, so we gotta prove that. The fact that you have no debt is great, but we need some proof of income. Okay, 2 more questions, y'all, and we'll call it a night. Melissa, when living in a property that you have control over, how do you avoid being called 24 hours? Melissa, that comes down to screening your tenants. That comes down to screening your tenants in the right way. There's these landlord scary stories, but I don't get called 24 hours a day, y'all. I don't get called that often. And even if I do, what is it? There was a toilet leak yesterday. What I did was my tenant texted me, there's a leaking toilet, sent a picture. I copied that picture. I sent it to the plumber, said, hey, Joe, can you go over to this house tomorrow morning? Said, sure. I texted tenant and I texted Joe, and it was done. It was released. Joe said, I'm done. Here's a picture. And I cash app Joe the money. It's that simple, y'all. There's these scary stories. Oh, they're going to be calling me and have needs all day long. No, they don't. They don't, y'all. All right. Last question. I was pre-approved for a single family recently. Won't my credit score drop if I do it again? No, you can get pre-approved by 5 different lenders can pull your credit. You can even go back to that same lender who's already pulled your credit and say, I'd like to do a multifamily instead, and see what they would offer you based on that, okay? But 5 lenders can pull your credit in 30 days without it affecting your credit score. So you'll be good to go. All right. Last question. What if your student loans are in deferment? They're going to take 1% of your student loans and add that to your debt to income ratio. So debt to income ratio, your DTI is debt over your income. So let's say your loans are $100,000, they're in deferment. They're going to take 1% of that, which is $1,000, and they're going to put that on the top line. And that's going to affect your debt to income ratio. Okay. So I want to thank you all for being here tonight. There are over 200 questions, and I just won't be able to get to them all. We'll be here all night. I hope you got enough game tonight to make a decision about whether to join the multifamily movement. And I would love to be your conductor on the Above Ground Railroad. I am 100% certain that I can lead you to rent and mortgage freedom if you allow me to guide you. I'm so grateful for your time and energy tonight. I'm going to send out the list of down payment assistance programs tomorrow. So look in your email as well as the replay for those of you who want to see it again, take notes, and share it with others. Again, you have till Friday at midnight to make a decision about joining the multifamily movement. You can join for $14.97 one payment, or $349 per month for the next 6 months, and then the payments end, and you have lifetime access after that. So again, I thank you all for being here tonight. I wish you the best on your journey. Whatever you decide, I want the best for you. And I wish you a great, great night. All right. Take care, everybody. Peace.